Hello, everyone. My name is Spoko.
But who is the hero of
I'm
our
going to be
tale?
doing some
Then let
commentary
his
today
destiny
on
unfold.
a old speedrun of mine that I did in January 2018. This run is going to be almost 6 years old at this point, like 6 years old in 2 months, really. And this is a run that was played on the Xbox 360, the unpatched version. Um, so on the leaderboard, we have the unpatched version
Oh,
of the
what was
game
that?
and the current patch of the game
Oh,
separated.
yuck.
Uh, both are separate on the
Well,
leaderboard.
I
So
hear that's lucky.
when it comes to
Like
this
finding a
category of
four-leaf
this one,
clover. Although I
this
think I
old run of
prefer the
mine is
clover.
currently my PB for this
Oh,
category.
look, little sparrow.
And basically, on
Castle
the
there
unpatched version,
looks so nice in the snow.
there's a
Imagine a
glitch
grand
on
dining
the
hall.
unpatched version that
I bet Lord
significantly
Leafy's
changes the
having
route
roast
for the
duck
first
this
half of the
time of
game.
year.
And
But he must be really
yeah,
lonely since
that's
his
what
wife and his
we're going to
little
be
girl
watching
died.
today.
In that big castle, all by
And with my
himself.
channel, I did a lot of
If only we could live there.
I did like a few videos on a few specific
What is going
topics
on
of
over
like
there?
speedruns of Fable
Come
2,
with me,
Fable
little
3,
brother.
but in general, the tutorial side of things has been pretty
Hello there, young
lacking.
Rose.
I've never
You look
really
hungry.
made any kind of tutorial
Have you reconsidered my
for this
offer?
game, and even for like Fable 3. But what I'm doing today is
Ladies and
not really what you would consider tutorial, but at
I have
least
traveled the land,
hopefully, if anyone
exploiting
wants to learn more
wondrous
about
and
the Fable 2
mysterious
speedruns
objects,
and
which I now offer to you
just
for
get
the
into it
modest
and
price
learn
of
things.
one gold.
Hopefully, this video should at least give you a
Consider
decent
this.
amount of information about
This is truly a
Fable 2
magical
and
mirror.
the speedrun.
For as long as you look into it, it will make you beautiful.
I'll take it.
Very wise.
So yeah,
Now, just remember,
gonna take
the
it easy.
magic only
Just gonna
works
watch the
if
run,
you
not gonna
put it
pause the
in
video
complete
in
darkness.
any matter.
Ah, now this is truly a marvel. This small, unassuming box is actually a device
So,
created
first off,
by
we have the,
ancients, as used
childhood
by the
section of
old
the game,
kingdom
which
rulers themselves.
lasts
Turn
about
the
10
handle
minutes.
3 times and you
We have
shall be
a lengthy
granted
cutscene
a
to begin with,
single wish.
and generally, what I try to
There's no
do
such thing as magic.
in the speedrun is,
Someone just pinched my bottom.
We
for
live
example,
grim
in this
times
cutscene in
indeed.
particular, I
If
try to
the young
position
are
my
too well
character
weary
in
to
my
believe in
camera
magic.
position in the
Most
same way
children,
every time,
however,
so that
believe eagerly.
Look, I can
when
see
this
your
part
eyes
of the
again.
cutscene
And I'm
starts,
telling
the
you,
camera
that
doesn't
music
have to
box is
move too
rubbish.
much when it's zooming out to
That's
begin the
what the seller
cutscene.
thinks. He has no idea what he stumbled
So
upon.
often when there's
But you
like
have an
cutscenes like
inkling,
this, I
don't
try
you?
to do the same thing every time to
Some part
just
of you wants to believe it's
be
magic.
consistent and
What? You,
try to do my best to
you really
not
think it
have
could be?
anything weird happening that might cause some
For
delay.
5 gold
the
coins, you
cutscenes.
could have your answer.
So yeah, usually for this, I always stand in one
Listen to
specific
me,
spot, and
Rose.
I try to
At
keep
the
my
end of
camera
that
to
week, you and your
a
little
position that
sparrow
would
be no closer to your dream,
make the
no
zoom
closer
out
to the inside of that beautiful castle.
in a certain manner.
What if it is real? I bet
Also,
we
when you're
could get
reaching
5
that
gold
cutscene,
pieces. And maybe this could be
you
a
want
way
to
out of here
hold
after
the
all.
LT button. You
What
don't
is
want to
there to
hold it
lose,
too
little
soon.
Sarah?
But yeah.
Come on, there must be someone
But
around
the
here
thing,
who
the
has
special thing
magic.
with the childhood section,
Do
as you were
something.
gonna see here, is
Hey, kid.
the gimmick
Come
behind
here,
it
Derek.
is that
Know something?
Rose
My arrest
is the
warrant.
one that is going to be the trigger for most of these cutscenes here. So a lot of the childhood section is about manipulating Rose in a matter that will advance stuff. So like for the guard,
Now all you have
what I did for the guard is
very well. Strike a
I moved in a
pose, my
certain
young
manner
friend.
so like Rose is standing where she's supposed to, so that she can talk to the guard faster. It was a little bit of that, and then after that,
Wondrous. This
there's
thing's gonna be more popular than that
go to
box.
Barnum. There's actually a skip for Barnum. And we're talking a bit. Also, right here, when the screen goes black, you can actually start moving at some point when the screen fades to black. And actually, what happened there is actually one of the most tricky little segment of this childhood section. Also, I'm surprised to see here that I'm already doing the two-player beating the
Yeah,
the
and
bully
now I'm gonna
strat
hit
at this
another
point in the
one.
run. I actually didn't expect for me to do that. Yeah, there you go. And then we're gonna quit out.
Ah! Stop it! Let me alone, you
It's a pretty funny
nutter.
strat to go for. Uh,
Like
it's
a
not
new
that much
owl.
faster of
Did
just
you
like
see that?
being
That
one
lunatic
player and
shot was
just
right in the head.
swinging at him.
Glad to be that
But
rare.
it's always a
Thanks for your
very
help.
funny cutscene.
I could have taken it,
You
though.
standing here in the corner so that you don't interfere with Rosebat because she has to talk to the dog,
Oh,
and
poor thing.
if you
You've
get
had a
in her
horrible
way,
time.
you know,
Don't be
it's gonna take
scared.
more
Won't
time for
hurt
you
you.
to. It's gonna take
What
more
you
time
need
for
is
her to
someone
get
nice
to the
to look
dog
after
and
you.
talk, and then you know, it's just some time waster. So another quick note about the Barnum skip that I was talking about. If you can manage to like start the quest like when you're holding the A button,
But you don't need
before he turns around and does the line of dialogue, you can skip that little line of dialogue he's doing. It's something that's really random. You can sort of you're a little bit more likely to make it happen if you're standing right up at
Shoot the
his butt,
beetles.
which is kind of
Shoot
funny.
to kill.
Um,
And
Oh, yeah.
while you're breaking their hateful
it's
little
something that
heads
was
open,
not
Try
really
to
known
crack
at
any
this
of my
point,
stuff.
and I don't even know I don't even think I knew about it at this point, that it was something that could happen. But at any rate, the childhood section, you know, you have to get 5 gold coins. You think there would be quite a bit of
oh, crap.
option and flexible on how you would do these things, but because the way the game is done, it's actually a pretty straightforward section of the game. Like the childhood is very straightforward, but when it comes to the beetles and the crate, the beetles are going to be your fastest option.
There's that dog again.
And also, you have another section. You had another section there where the screen fades to black, and then
Officer,
you can actually move backwards
Let's find this
to
red pipe.
like get away from the cutscene as soon as it's done.
quadruplets are back.
Hand over the wine, little sparrow.
I will say about the childhood section is it's a
Let's
very
collect our gold from
fairly
the lady and
consistent
tramp.
segment of the run, but it's a section where
there's some
you're gonna
paper in the bottle.
lose or gain time,
I
and
think this is
you won't
yours.
really know why. And typically, the time save and the time gains are
Well done. You probably
all
said
in this section that just was done there. So like
that's 3 gold.
after the Beatles and like getting the wine and then giving the wine, that little segment is usually
Stop right there, you little brats.
what's going to determine the time loss and save a lot of the time, because
Have you found them?
depending how you do it and what kind of luck you get, you may be able to skip some dialogue cutscenes, and
I think Mother
that's usually what dictates a lot of my time saved and lost when I'm doing runs,
don't want you sniffing around my
because
dog's
everything
eye.
else is really consistent.
Now push on before
You
I
have
call
like the
guards.
movement when the screen goes black for after Barnum. That's kind of tricky, but otherwise, like everything else, is very consistent. Which, by the way, there's actually like
What's the matter with you?
setups, let's say, to help you move when the screen is black. Black.
Let's see who answers.
So after Barnum, what you want to do is when you see the gold. So right now you can see the gold, like 4 out of 5 gold pieces. When this box appears back on the screen, that's when you know when you can start moving. And I'm talking like specifically for the one at Barnum. So when this
What do you
appears,
want?
you can tap. You do like one small tap to the right, and then you're gonna press the first person button to change your camera towards the right, and then you hold for it and run,
Here's
and
something for
you
your
hope it
trouble.
works. And the reason it's really tricky is because there's gonna be quite a bit of NPCs that are gonna be randomly where you need to go, and so you're very likely that you're gonna get stuck into the NPCs in that particular segment. So usually you want to try to aim towards the right side of the hallway
Let's go
rather
make
than the
our
left
wish,
side,
little
because
sparrow.
usually if you aim too much to the left, you're gonna be running into the NPCs most of the
I
time.
wish. I wish.
But like the worst best case scenario is that you're a little bit too much to the right, and so you're running against the wall of the the right wall besides the hallway you need to go. That's usually like the better of the worst outcome, let's say.
But where did it go?
That's pretty much the childhood section. After activating the music box, you should go to this spot right away, so that you can get ahead of Rose. Because if you don't get ahead of Rose at this point, you're gonna be stuck. So at this point you can sleep, but if you're not ahead of Rose,
Fine.
Rose gonna be
Welcome
blocking
to
the way
paradise.
for a few seconds.
Right,
So
settle down.
it's
There's
kind of a
nice,
stupid way to lose
comfortable
5 or 10
stray
seconds if
dog.
you're just messing around and not
Quiet
going to
boy.
the
What do you want?
your little home
I work for
quickly
Lord
enough.
Lucian, miss, and he would very
Also,
much
when you're
like to
buying
see
the,
you in his castle.
music box in the
I've
first
been
place,
sent
when
to
you're getting
collect
up
you.
to the shop, even though you don't see it yet, you can already hold the A button to buy the music box.
Work. Our wish came true.
So it's one of the rare cases
Come on,
in
little
this game where
sparrow,
you can
wake
actually hold the button in advance.
It's all right, doggy.
Like
We're going to
you can
Lord
hold the button
Lucian's
sooner
castle.
than it actually gives you the prompt for. Where, for example, in this case right here, it's actually the opposite. You see the accept button, but there's actually a massive delay before you can actually hold the A button. So there's a few things like that where there's a few points in this game where you're gonna have to press and hold A to accept something, and you're gonna have to delay a little bit before the
Here are
game
the
actually
children
gives
Lord
you
Lucian asked for.
the opportunity to do so.
Excellent. Hello, young masters.
So childhood
Hello,
section
sir.
is about 10-minute
If you
ish,
follow me, please.
and then
We look up at this castle every day and think how nice
we have
it is.
a lengthy
Both do.
cutscene for
But inside, it's
for a
even
while.
more beautiful than I imagined.
until we get to the Gypsy camp, where we're gonna have the first tricky skip of the game.
Man of few words.
Where is the grand dining hall?
Oh, in the North Wing. Lord Lucian hasn't been in there since the tragic deaths of Lady Fairfax and little Amelia.
Oh, I
So, yeah.
heard. That was so awful.
Yes, he misses.
One last recap for the childhood section is
Where does he eat?
you want to try to manipulate Rose. You want to try to avoid
He's in there working
Rose
hard.
getting stuck into things.
What does he research?
And history,
At
my
some
dear.
point,
Lord Lucian
sometimes you want to.
He's chiefly interested in things related
Sometime when it comes to character escort missions, you want to try to not look at them. This is gonna come a lot more relevant and obvious in Wellspring Cave when we're gonna escort Hammer.
And now
So
we're here.
I'm gonna be able to talk about that later on there.
You must show respect at
But yeah,
all
manipulate
times.
Rose.
Address him as my lord.
Learn about moving when the screen fades to black,
And do not mention Lady Fairfax or Amelia.
and otherwise it's a very straightforward section.
Here we
Again,
are. Lord Lucian,
here, what just happened there, I would have probably saved a second or two if I was facing the camera away from Jeeves. It's just something that I do now in runs. It's because he has to do with something with the
The man who sold it to us said it was magic.
the NPC in the game in
The
this
box is
game
no interest
with
to me. What's remarkable
like
is that
their
you were able to
padding,
use
how they
it.
work, how they walk.
Was your wish?
Oh.
it seems like in general the character
wish
in this game, uh,
To live in
they
a
struggle
castle like this one.
to go where they're supposed to sometimes, and
Perhaps that could be arranged.
you know they're
I'm
camera
working
shy a
to
little bit.
rebuild
So if you look away from them,
working on something wonderful, for which
they
I need
usually
individuals with
behave better.
talents.
And I think the reason is
Let us find out if you possess them. Would
you can see
kindly
them when
stand in a circle, please?
NPCs need to enter a door that's very
I
tight.
promise it won't hurt you.
They like get stuck on the borders and they like struggle to. But if you look away and look back at the last second, you see them like almost like flipping
What's that?
Nothing to worry about.
through the door. So it's almost like when you're not looking away, it's like they let the NPC cheat a little bit and like just let them through the wall or something.
It's true.
It's like NPCs can go a little bit,
You are
like can go
heroes.
through walls when you're not watching them.
Heroes? You mean like in the old stories?
That's kind of my theory anyway of why that works. Heroes.
What are you? Wait. There
My
was
lord,
something
what
here.
happened?
There was...
What's that like?
Quiet! You're heroes, but you're not any of the three. One of you is the fourth.
What's happening?
This isn't what I wanted. But nothing must stand in my way.
No, wait! Don't! No!
I can't allow you to live either. I'm sorry.
And then as soon as the screen turns black, you can press start. And then as soon as the loading screen is done, you can press start again to skip another cutscene.
Ah, there you are. And your faithful friend, too. Many years ago, I promised I would help you avenge your sister's death.
During this cutscene,
That day
I
has come.
pretty much always use the
Today,
first
you
person
leave the safety of
button
this
here
camp and seek
to
out Lucien. The journey will not be easy.
do this. It kind of messes up the
There's a chest near your
the
cabin.
face and like
Left a few
body
things
position of the
inside that might
character
prove useful.
during this cutscene.
Meet me by
That's
the
just,
gates
like,
when
very
you're
funny
ready
to do.
leave.
Hero traveled along a wide but deserted road.
Now I'll get the chest. You can press twice, X twice to skip the object a little bit faster. I do keep the potion so I can have a little bit more money for later. Here's the shortcut. But the funny thing is you can actually destroy the barrier, which I didn't know before, which is why I was doing this. So if you want to speedrun this game, just like destroy the barrier instead of doing the stupid thing I was doing. But yeah, what you just seen there is the Teresa skip, and it saves quite a bit of time. It might not seem like it, but it's at least a 40 seconds time save. And I can already see right now something. It's actually more optimal to pick up the potion of life right now rather than later. I'm gonna be picking it up a little later instead, which is like what I used to do and what I was used to. But also real quick here, crossbow, then press forward and run.
Don't be alarmed. I'm speaking to you through the guilds.
That will manipulate the
You'll need to jump into
the
that
movement
door
to be
continue.
faster during this hallway.
Don't worry.
But anyway, the
walls
potion
at
of
the
life,
bottom will break or fall.
it's more so optimal to get it right now because when you're getting it later, you have to go back in the water. So like going in and out of the water is a little bit slow. So you're saving yourself and you're saving yourself from going into the water once, basically. It's
You'll have to shoot the
because otherwise, like
to
it's
go any further.
time-wise, it's the exact same. So it's a very minor optimization. But going back to Carissa skip, it's basically just when you're getting close to Teresa, there's a cutscene, but because you're putting the safety off and you're shooting at her, you're sort of overriding a cutscene with another cutscene, and the cutscene where she tells you to that you're not a good person for shooting at her and it's useless. You can actually go full speed, so you're using that cutscene to run away from her, basically. And what you have to do first also is you want to step into the cutscene long enough so that the gates open, and then you go back out, unload the cutscene, and then go back in. Shoot her when you're close to her before the cutscene starts, and then when you get to shoot her, it overwrites the cutscene by another, which you can use to run away. And, right here, I'm doing weapon swapping on purpose. I'm doing a lot of weapon swapping. You don't need to do it as fast as I was doing there, but
this academy trained the most supremely gifted sons and daughters of Albion, bound together.
So at the speed that I'm going right now is way faster than what you're supposed to be walking normally. Teresa has like a bunch of dialogues that usually plays there, but
Strength improves
when you get
with
to the middle, you can like, if you get to the middle fast enough, you skip a bunch of dialogue.
Will gives you control over the forces of
And
magic.
if you want to learn more about weapon swapping
you is a
and
color's gate.
just like
It
movement in
reacts to the
general,
will
I
of
have a
one who
tutorial
seeks
on
to
that,
use it.
and that's
have not
probably
been
going to
able
be the
to
best
use
video
will
for you
yet,
to watch
The simple act of reaching this place
on that
has given
topic,
you
but
will experience. You need to learn a will ability
there was actually
to activate the color's gate.
a reason behind the madness of like the weapon swapping that I just did there. Also, now
Now
the cutscene is done, and we're gonna buy Inferno 1 to get out of here.
Well done. Now you are ready to begin your journey. Use the color's gate.
Inferno 1 is the cheapest, I think. It might be another spell that's the cheapest, but I think it's if you don't kill anything, I think Inferno is the only one you can actually buy anyway. Because
Use your newfound abilities to defeat them.
so I didn't kill any enemies, so I didn't get any green orbs or whatever, but the game gives you, even if you don't kill anything, the game gives you enough orb to buy Inferno. So that's why you like don't need to kill anything. Also, like I said, I'm picking the Potion of Life right now. Where you would typically, if you want to be a little bit more optimal, you want to pick it up before you go to the guild tomb. That way, like I said, you don't have to enter the water twice. Also, I'm doing weapon swapping here, but it doesn't do anything, actually. It's just something that I typically like to do in this segment for some reason. Could have taken a little bit tighter line there. But, it's not too bad so far. That's pretty good. So it's important for you to touch this zone, and then you can just go, run away.
It would
Gets a
seem
little bit
Thag
there.
has been capturing traders on their way to the Bower Lake camp. He is a danger to all and must be dealt with.
And then,
With
oh
your
wow,
new
that was a
power,
big slide.
You should be able to defeat him and his gang.
And then I'm gonna do the
Continue
thing,
your quest.
and
No
which I
doubt they
messed
are
it
at his
up.
camp near Bower
Which
Lake.
I messed it up again. There you go, buddy. All right. And there's a glitch that doesn't do anything, but it's very cool.
Keep your wits about you. It may be a trap.
Look out! It's an
A
ambush!
lot of people tend to assume that it saves times, like it makes you run faster or something, but it really doesn't. Now there might be some like superficial advantage to it, but time-wise, it's exactly the same. Also, there's a tutorial box there. On the current patch speedrun, you disable tutorials, so that box will never appear. For this run, I'm gonna try to oh, we're getting the backwards dog here. Boop. And he's go to the. So I don't think the removing the tutorial for this route is worth it. But I'm gonna take a look and try to see if I'm basically I'm gonna be in the lookout to see if that's actually true or not, because that's what I used to believe back then. Tag fight, just spam fire, you win. You want to stay close to the hut just so that you can attack him faster. Also, when you're when Tag is like inside his cabin or like near his cabin, he's not gonna be as likely to attack you. So because when you're getting hit, you're typically gonna get knocked back, and you're gonna lose a little bit of time because you can't attack him because you're on knockback. But so it's usually better to be close to the cabin. Also, sometimes if you're able to do a fireball at the same time you're getting hit with the sword, you're not gonna get you're not gonna get like knocked back. You're not gonna get interrupted, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. We need a fair amount of money in this route for the start. I'm doing some trophy there because back then at this point in the route, from my testing, it seemed that doing 4 trophies in front of this guy before selling was giving me a better selling price most of the time. So back then, that's why I was doing it in this specific spot. Also, okay, yeah.
I have bad news.
A little bit awkward there.
I'm afraid I will be delayed for a while.
And what happened there, the reason I was a little bit hesitant there, then I kind of stopped and was a little bit awkward. It's basically because I was worried that I was worried that I took the path too tight, and I skipped over the trigger for the town square warp, because I wanted to be sure that I didn't miss the town square warp.
Money,
so that's kind of what happened there.
I believe the blacksmith has an opening.
So Bowerstone Market. When you get to Bowerstone Market, you're setting the potion, and then you get to Old Town right away. And as you can see there's quite a bit of villager here. There's quite a bit of villager here. And when you're getting, at this time of day, when you're getting to Old Town for the first time, there's going to be a bunch of villagers at 1 or 2 spots. And it's always one of these 2 spots every time. So that was the second spot. The first spot is actually right at the entrance of the whole town. And you want to do some trophy grinding because you always have a lot of people there and it's going to be useful. I did notice that I did way too many trophies. You with the tag trophy, only do 5. Any more than 5 is a waste of time. It's too much. So you only need to do the tag trophy 5 times. Also, well, something's happening here. This is like the unpatched route. This is what we do. You get all that money so you can buy a house, and then you sleep in the house. You get a bonus, a permanent bonus that allows you to duplicate EXP infinitely, and then we have all the tools that we need maxed out to do this. I jump out the window, I do 1 step to the left, and then I go back and I sell the house. This is very important because if you don't do that single step to the left, you won't trigger the cemetery warp. And doing that single step to the left triggers the cemetery warp. Sell the house because you're gonna need money later for Jeeves. Yeah, that's pretty much like the main reason, really. It's just you need that 1,000 gold for Jeeves, and that's like the best way to get it.
I was trying to come up with a song.
And when you're warping back to Old Town, there's actually a manipulation here. Just go forward and then turn your camera away, and you will get the Teresa spawn. That's pretty quick and that behaves. So yeah, the infinite XP glitch again is you buy a house that has a permanent bonus. You sleep in it, and then you can sell the whatever bonus you had infinitely, generate an insane amount of
The world is
EXP.
better off without Thag, and certainly
And that's pretty much
Lake
it.
is in your debt. But to really
It's
see the
fast
impact
when you're
of your
generating
actions, you
EXP.
need look no
It's a
further
little
than
bit strange, but the
Barristan.
fastest way to generate
It has
EXP
changed much since
is
you
actually
lived
if
here,
you're mashing
particularly
A
Old
and
Town,
Y,
where you spent your
like you're
childhood.
pressing both buttons at the same time,
Never
and you
forget
mash
that even
them
the simplest
as fast as
choice
you can.
have far-reaching consequences.
It's really weird, but it is like by far the fastest way to like generate a bunch of EXP.
Look, that is where Lucian is now.
So all the
data spy.
item pickups we've been doing at this point was specifically to buy that house. That house is also has some
And now
RNG
the
attached
spire
to it,
rises once
where
again by Lucian's hand.
there's two
Lucian
price
found
points you can get
documents
from the
which
house.
foretold the coming of one
There's
who
the
would
price
stop
point
them using the
point that we
spire.
want, where the house is
That
pretty
is why
cheap
your
and we
sister
can buy it.
died. And that is
Or
why you
there's
replaced
the
her.
other price point.
The
It's
cards
always
have
one or
shown
the other,
this.
but the other price point,
Here.
sometimes the house has
Take a
more
look.
decoration value. Like it has a higher decoration value,
Each
which is
of
why
the
the house
three
is more
You must
expensive.
find the pilgrim
The house
buried
is
in
also
the vault
always
before Lucian
vacant,
died.
so that's why the price is really consistent also. But yeah, if you get the higher value, the higher decoration value, you're gonna have to go for the backup strat where there's another house. We should be able to see it on the left after this loading screen. So backup strat, the house to the left right there. This is the backup house. What you have to do with this house instead, because that house is going to be more expensive at first than the other house. So to lower the price down, what you're going to have to do is you break into the house, you sleep, and then the reason you sleep is so that the owner of the house will be back inside the house, and he will be back inside the house, and then that's gonna let you kill him without like
You are right
actually
as you
searching
focus
the
on
town for
task
him.
at hand.
So
That's
you sleep
good.
in the house,
We have no
and
need
then
of
after you wake up,
distractions.
the owner is there.
Wait.
You kill the owner,
Find this.
and then you
Charge
quickly
them
buy the
with
house
that
at the
Why not dispatch
reduced
them from here with your crossbow?
at a very low price, and then you sleep again after buying the house so that you can get the bonus, and then you do the same thing. Yeah. After the Teresa cutscene, warping back to Cemetery Town that we
Remember your
triggered
crossbow.
after
This can be over
buying the
before
house.
they know it.
Going to Rosefield, just dodging everything at this point. We have bought all the
Oh, look!
the skill and magic that we need for the run at this point already. And so
Can you hear me in there? My son Joey's in there.
so it's very useful to be this powerful at the beginning of the game. And so on the current patch of the game, you cannot do that. So you will have to do a lot more shopping, a lot more of like second player EXP duplication, which is very slow in comparison. Which is why like the first part of the run is very much different between current patch and unpatch. But after the arena, the route between both versions is pretty much identical. The only difference being on this route, you're going to have toughness level 5 maxed out, and on the current patch, you're probably only going to have toughness level 5 and accuracy level 4, rather than toughness level 5 and accuracy level 5 on the unpatched version. It's pretty much the only difference they're going to be between both routes for the second half of the game. This dungeon, by the way, we're just going through real fast. We're dodging everything. We're not waiting for anything. It's just go, go, go.
That's my boy.
This dungeon is actually pretty technical for movement-wise. Again, you're gonna have to watch the my movement tutorial if you want to learn more. But they're essentially what I call a lot of slow tiles, and so you have to use weapon swapping to reset your speed to a default value. Oh, a mishap there. I did not mean to shoot there, that's for sure. And that's going to be it for Rookridge. We're going to be moving on to Oaksfield. And in Oaksfield, it's pretty much at this point where we're going to be required to have 500 renown points to proceed with the main story. This is gonna happen this happens 3 times throughout the course of the run, where the game requires you to have a certain amount of renown points before proceeding with the main story. So coming up is the first one. So the first tier is 500 renown points. And then for the arena, it's going to be 2.5k renown points. And then for the very end of the game with Reaver, before the Shadow Court, you're going to be required to have a 20,000 renown points. So the first thing you're doing in the Oaksfield is going this way so you can trigger the Sangoose warp. Because you could go like through the building to the right to shortcut a little bit, but then you're not getting the Sangoose warp. So
the monks of the Temple of Light replant this acorn, and as
that's
the
why
trees reborn,
we do it this
so
way.
are all the lands and farms around. The abbot is quite nervous about this year's ritual. See what you can find out.
So from here, after this cutscene with the abbot, there's going to be a required quest you're going to be forced to do. That's going to give you
The sacred
250
say that only 2 monks may enter the cave.
renown
No one
points.
else.
The when you killed Tag, it gave you 100 renown points,
Ah, hello
which
there,
mean
my
now
child.
there's going to be a
I wonder...
to get the 500.
Brothers
You're going to
of
need
Venus.
to
Let me take a look at you. Yes,
get
well,
the 150
prove
renown
yourself
points
to me,
required
and then we'll talk.
the fastest possible.
The blessing must go forward if you're to find the pilgrim.
So yeah, now Oaksfield, Sangoose.
You must gain the abbot's favor.
And so the remaining 150 points we're gonna do with the bard and do some trophy grinding.
Oh, dear,
So we already did
dear.
some trophy grinding
How could this happen?
in Bowerstone Whole Town. That gave a good amount of points, which I don't remember how many.
Latest composition.
It's been a while, so I don't quite remember. So I triggered the bard, triggered the quest up there, and then go back and wait for the bard to start. This bard is gonna, at this point in the game, will give you 40 renown points. So from there, that means that we need to get 110 renown points from trophy grinding, and we already have a lot of them obtained from Old Town. And then there's going to be a reason why you do the bard before going to this quest, which you will see in a minute. But yeah, this is the dash quest. It's required to proceed with the main story. So gonna quickly go up there. I decide to put
Please do not take my life.
time stop level 2 there. There's this thing. I think back then I was still using the shock spell quite a bit. By the way, the reason I wait there is because there's actually an invisible wall.
Well done.
So you can't
Your
proceed
actions
this
continue
way
to shape
right
the
away.
world.
You actually have to wait for a bit. And I'm using the shock in the corner so I can kill the enemies that are behind the invisible wall. So I can have a clear passage after that. So I can shoot dash to get the dash skip right away. On current patch, something faster you can do is you can actually use the second player to kill dash faster. Because the second player, when you spawn it, he has a better weapon than your crossbow. And on current patch it's faster, but on this route it's not faster because you already have the accuracy stat maxed out. So even though you're using the crossbow, you're doing a lot of damage, and dash dies pretty quickly. Anyways,
Still, at least it's not me who has to rebuild.
so that's what's happening there. Did the dash skip? When you do the dash skip, you want to be careful to not step forward too much, because if you stand all the way to the edge, you're gonna trigger dash to run away, and
Thanks to you.
you're gonna get screwed.
way to
So
Barristan is
250,
now
as you can see, and then
Oh, hello. Haven't you
because we
figured
did the
out
bard,
the
there's gonna be a bunch of people here, so we don't even need to run after them.
People are
We can do a
whispering
bunch of
deeds,
trophy
but
here,
that's not
and
quite
because we
enough.
just completed the this quest that we just did, the trophy that we have now gives
You've
2
done it.
renown points per
Almost
usage,
Everyone in Oakfield has heard of you.
and so it's gonna give
Now
a
you
little
can
bit
go back
more
to the abbot.
renown point, and that is going to allow us to clear the 500 renown point threshold
It's
pretty
you.
pretty
I
easily.
prayed for your return.
Um,
I heard what
that
you
being
did in
said, there's something a
Rookridge.
little bit more optimal that
I think you
I
could be
should
of
have done.
great use to us.
Is that when you get back to the
Walk.
to
Basically,
Oaksfield after
go
the
to
dash
secret
quest,
cave and escort the
before
mark to the world's final
ending the
boss.
quest, you want to use the
Cave's
tag
not
trophy
far.
where was a lot of people near the bard. You want to use the tag trophy first so you can get a little bit more renown points out of it. And then after that, you stop,
Our first
you
hero awaits us.
complete the quest, and then you go back downstairs and you
Even
use
if they do not yet
your new
realize it.
trophy to get even more renown points. And usually doing it, if you do all of these things,
I knew my love was
you should be able to get at least like easily 600 like renown points up to this point, which gives you, so it's like like 100 renown points more than what you actually need, and that 100 renown points will help you for the next section pretty much. I'll talk more about that when we get there, but like having an extra 100 renown points to work with is really good. But I digress. We're now to Wellspring with the Hammer escort mission. Very fun. So the first thing you want to do is as soon as you're spawning into the dungeon, you want to run away from Hammer.
All right.
I
This
think
should be
it
the
went
central
pretty well
chamber.
there.
Wow. I've never
But it
seen
can be
anything
something that's
like
really
this
tricky to do.
ever. Now, according to
It
my
might not be
father,
as
you flow
tricky
through these three
to
doors in
do
order to collect
like
the
it might not
water.
be as tricky to run away from her
Putting weight on the pressure
on
plate to
Xbox
open the
360 just
doors.
because it takes a little bit more to load the
This one's the
cutscene or
first.
something.
There we go.
But something that I know I did not know back then is you can actually use time stop level 1 to more easily run away from her if you get stuck with slow speed. So what I should have done is back in the bar of Rookridge when you're waiting for attached to go away in waiting for the invisible wall to go away. You want to equip time stop level 1 at the very least. In this run, I decided to equip time stop level 2, which you would equip anyway at some point. I'm standing in the corner there. That's actually very important. Again, you're trying to manipulate Hammer.
I stand here so I can.
Everything that I just done in this run is pretty much to manipulate Hammer. But standing in the corner there is actually to manipulate the dog so that it manipulates Hammer in not getting stuck. Because the dog is a good boy, but the dog is a pretty bad boy for the speedrun because
So far, this isn't too bad.
NPC character tends to get stuck into him, and you can also get stuck into the dog in a few spaces in the speedrun. So it's quite annoying. But yeah, you stand in a corner so that the dog stays next to you, which gives a clear path to Hammer to go up. Also, there's going to be a small cutscene skip coming up right here. I'm going to be curious to know if I do it. Because I don't think I was aware of it, but I might have done it by accident. Yeah, I didn't get the cutscene skip. Don't talk too much, do you? You can actually skip that. So what you can do is actually, as soon as the vase gets to 100%, just run off the switch, and that's gonna skip the that little cutscene right there. Now for the Holloman, this Holloman, by the way, is special. This Holloman has more HP than the others, but that doesn't really matter in this run because we already have like maxed out accuracy. But I'm standing right here so I can run, so I can like get rid of Hammer's dialogue right away. Otherwise, it's gonna make things slower and worse for you later if you don't get rid of these cutscenes right away, or like these lines of dialogue rather. So honestly, you'd be way better off having Inferno level 2 here.
That was fantastic.
Rather than time stop. You can get away with Shock 3 in this route just because you're maxed out on magic. But
you're a very fast learner.
for the most part, like Shock is nice, and I used to really love it because Shock is consistent. Because Shock can never miss a target, where Inferno can. Oh, that's really bad. As you can see there, the dog wasted at least 3 seconds there easily. But there was a manipulation here. Also, this is also a manipulation where I walked there.
Right.
But yeah, a few things here.
I'll stand by the fountain to catch the water
In the main
as
room,
before.
at some point you saw me that I was standing in the main room, and then eventually I ran towards Hammer.
Brilliant.
That's like to trigger our line of dialogue as soon as possible. And then you can like sort of manipulate Hammer to get close to the switch in the main room again. You typically want to get her near the switch, but not on the switch, because if you get her on the switch too soon, that may lead to some bad things if you like leave to this room too soon. The dog is spinning also. And then getting into this room, you saw me walk. This was on purpose, again, to manipulate Hammer. Now I have a little bit more optimal strategy where actually, I believe I run full speed, and then I go up the ladders. And then once you get to this platform, when you're on this platform, the game forces your camera towards Hammer. And what I actually do is actually fight against the camera to look away from Hammer. And you want to do that because if you're looking at Hammer when she's coming out through these doors, she's going to have a hard time going through the doors. And if you look away, you can avoid that from happening. And on this route, when you're maxed out on accuracy, you can do a normal shot on one Holloman and get it down, get a knockdown. Because in this route, because one, these Aldermen already don't give a lot of EXP, even for like current patch route. But like, really what you want here is the delay. I did a good job here. So I can see like the one Alderman here and then 100% gonna kill it. Well, I should have killed him at I should have killed him way sooner than that. I should have killed him like at the 92% would have been fine. But I digress. The point of this room is you want to stall. You just so that the element doesn't attack hammer. And there's gonna be one Hollow spawning, and then when you kill him, there's gonna be two. And then when both of them are dead, you're gonna be killing. There's gonna be always three of them, and then it's always when all three of them are dead that the next ones are gonna spawn. So you can like kill two of them and then keep one on the ground and then wait for 90% and then you kill it, the last one, and then you're gonna be free to go. Because you really the thing that really matters on that segment is just obviously making sure that hammer doesn't get hit, but also making sure that they're not gonna be hollow men spawning at the same time that the objective is done. Because when you're gonna try to manipulate hammer to leave the room, if there's hollow men nearby and she get hits, nightmare will ensue and you will lose them. And you will have to go back and kill hollow men and stuff. Is it you? Is it you, boy? Alright, movement here. You're gonna do a few right there. You get slow speed, so you do a weapon swap. Alright, it's gonna be interesting to know. Oh, yeah, this is not. Okay, so this is. Oh no, I'm doing this strat, aren't I? Oh, this is so bad. Oh, I got a spawn delay. Okay, spawn delay.
Oh, I reckon he's dead. Well,
so I got a good like Hollow coverage here. Also because I'm maxed on stat, I can get away with using shock. And then by the time the Hollow spawns, you have enough time to charge a level 4 every time. Yeah, I miscounted. Yep. Miscounted there. That's such a stupid strat. That's so dumb. Okay. Let me go back and explain a little bit this fight. So I actually don't exactly remember if there's 5 or 6 waves. But the way this fight works is there's going to be 4 Aldermen spawning.
This is it. This is the final room.
And every time you kill all 4, the next wave of 4 Aldermen will spawn. It's always 4. Their spawn location is random, but once they spawn, they will always spawn on the same place. So basically, when you enter the room, you wanna be on the lookout where they're spawning, and you want to find a spot that is exactly in the middle of these 4 Aldermens, and you generally want to do a
what is it?
a level 4. Well, it depends for the first wave. Like the first wave, you typically just want to take them out really quick, and in this case, it would be a lot faster to just do normal level 1 fireballs to just get rid of them quickly.
We have to get to the temple.
And then by the time they spawn again, you will have enough time to do a level 4, and you try to have the level 4 area radius to reach all the 4 spawns. If you get really bad spawns, sometimes that's not going to be possible. So yeah, the spawn is random, but once they spawn, they will always spawn in the same place. It's always 4 Hollow Men. It's the same number of waves. I don't actually remember it's 5 or 6 on the top of my head.
Are you okay?
But that's like the idea. And then the boss is gonna spawn. And
coming with me, or he dies.
The strat I was going for in this video was kind of stupid because I was trying to. It looks really cool, but it's just, like it's really not that good. It looked really cool, but it's really stupid. It's basically you're casting Vortex and Shock on the final wave, where you release Shock first so you can kill the Hollow Man, and then if you can have the Vortex active when the boss spawns, it just dies right away, which looks cool. But like the setup for it and the extra charge time and whatever, it's not actually worth it at all. I'm pretty sure you're better off just doing
I'm sorry, Father.
this fight solo with only
Not that I
Inferno,
broke my vow.
if I'm being
I'm
honest.
sorry I didn't break it sooner. I never did fit in at this place.
And on this cutscene, I
Both
generally
knew that.
don't take
And now
like
I'm
P
making
breaks
a
or
new
whatever,
vow.
but if you ever need
Lucian will
to
die for what he did to you.
like emergency do
I won't
something,
break this one.
that's
Sister
a
Hannah,
cutscene you can do it
the
at.
blessing.
It's not a cutscene that I had to do breaks
do it.
that often, but
As
yeah,
new life rises, so shall we.
that's one of
As the
the
seed returns to
the few
earth,
breaks you can take in the run.
so do we all.
Is that it then?
Nowadays, when I'm doing run, I'm
father's
usually
son,
standing more to the
Golden Oak is
the right
flourishing
corner,
again.
and I try to avoid
So now
looking
life
at
just
them,
goes on as before, does it?
but probably doesn't matter.
The other monks may believe that, but your eyes have been opened.
Where did you come from? Who are you?
Who are you?
Someone who can tell you much about Lucian. Where he is, what his plans are, and how you can gain your revenge. If you will listen.
I want to know everything.
Then come with me, Sister Hannah.
Call me Hammer.
I've taken Hammer to the guild.
Did a fireball there to cancel the trophy animation, and then it lets me warp away more quickly with the D-pad option.
You've done well, hero.
This cutscene, you want to be careful.
You have gathered the
You want
first
to
of the
wait
3
for the
heroes,
cutscene
and
to
we are
actually
one
start
step
before
closer
you
to defeating Lucian's
skip the
plans.
conversation right there.
To the Tower of
You don't have to
Brightwood.
wait as
It will
much as I
take some
did there.
time for Hammer to
I
overcome
guess I
the
took it
grief.
really safe there, but you do have to wait, but you don't have to actually wait as much as I did there. So yeah, at this point in the game, we need to head to Guard's Tower to try to save him, but it's not gonna work. And the closest spawn is
No
gonna
longer to
be
explain how
Barrow
Robin
Lake,
and Lucian's
Gypsy Camp, so
downfall.
that's gonna be the first option, and then the second option. We'll cut
Perhaps
through
this
the
would
wood,
be a good time to upgrade your equipment.
save a little bit of time.
I believe there is a sale in Bowerstone. It may well be worth a visit. Come back to the guild when you are ready. Someone or something is coming your way. I have never felt anything like it.
This section in Brightwood, gonna be another section, very straightforward in a classic Fable fashion, where we're just gonna ignore all the enemies and just go straight to the cutscene. This is actually our first encounter with the Spire Guards.
Lucian's men are attacking. You
And
must
it's
save
gonna
guard.
miss.
I killed stronger fighters than
Right about here, you're gonna want to do one or two weapon switches which I didn't do, but actually it didn't cost me too much.
You hear me?
But you can actually do one or two weapon swap at the end there, and actually
Scared of you?
will actually help your speed a little bit there.
Lucian's failed experiment. Nothing more.
You left too soon, Garth. Lord Lucian's experiment.
But the thing
was a
about weapon
radical
swapping is it's a little bit awkward to do, but also you gotta be careful with when you're doing it with enemies around, because swapping to the ranged weapon will make your character shoot at them, which will stop your movement, and everything gets really bad. Simple Warhammer, just press the D-pad option and mash A. Getting back to the Guild Cave.
That was Lucian's commandant, and apparently he now controls a shard. Go to the kingdom with it in Town and talk to Jeeves.
So far in this one,
Lucian's strength grows ever more formidable, as does his
there's a few things that are not as optimal nowadays, but like not much at all, and everything's been pretty smooth so far. It's been a very smooth sailing run so far, though. That's pretty cool. All right, so we already have to prepare for the arena.
Hello there. Fancy hearing it?
Again, the arena is going to be another there's going to be another renown threshold that we're going to need to hit, which is 2,500 renown points, so 2.5k.
Well, another offer.
Again, by this point, you at least have 500 for the Wellspring Cave.
Well, everything you want to know is all written down. And
got 1,000 from doing the Wellspring Cave.
My price.
We're going to be picking up and doing a quest called the Red Harvest, which gives you 750 renown points. Which means, I believe, at the top of my head, it's like, so you'll need to gather 250 renown points from trophy grinding. So, which is why if you already have a 100 renown point buffer, it's quite helpful for this segment. Because it can be a little bit tight, but it's not really too tight.
I buried Lucian's diary.
And also, like in this game, for this route, for this like speedrun in general, if you've ever been worried that the trophy grind would be like a tricky part of the speedrun, it's really not. It's really simple. How the route works out, it's really, you don't really have to do much. As long as you do the trophy grind, like the trophy when you're supposed to, like you're never gonna have to like run around and like find NPC and do that. It's the route is very consistent when it comes to like doing trophy grind, so it's not an aspect that you will lose or save time in the speedrun much at all.
Blimey,
it's very consistent.
You were just in there.
But yeah, again, we took advantage of this moment in the Bowerstone Market with Jeeves. You can actually go down. Once you trigger the cutscene, you can go down. You can talk to the bard. In this run, it seemed like I went to talk to the bard right away. Which now later on, I believe I triggered the cutscenes first because you want to proceed with the game. It just makes sense. And then you talk to the bard during the cutscene. And then at the end, when Jeeves is all done with talking, you can go back and actually use trophy, and there's going to be a bunch of people. You're getting a bunch of renown points, and you should have already enough points, or you're going to have almost enough points, and you're going to get the rest in the Westcliff camp. All right, the troll. Oh, okay. This is why, like pretty much like the first time that I started doing the second player strat for the trophy kill, so that's going to be consistent. Easy kill. And I do a level 2 spell before I trigger the fight, just as a safety. It gives me you like more time to set up player 2. I'm not sure if it's required anymore, really. I'm not actually sure if you even need to do a level 2 before
Good work.
nowadays. I don't even remember what I do now, to be honest. It might be the exact same.
But it will do
Actually,
you
I
little
think
good
I
without
might
a
do.
translation.
No, I think I do a
Not just
level 1
finding
because
the
I don't
gap,
equip
bring it back
level
to the
2
guild.
right away
Now,
at this
bring
point. I
it to
don't
me.
think.
I will translate it for you.
I think I might equip level 2 on the Bandit Coast. I think now.
You can read that, but your eyes are, you know.
I see other worlds than this one.
Yeah, that was the
Other
troll quick
worlds
kill,
you
by the
can
way.
see. I don't understand.
If you're confused about what you just seen, you may or may not know
Lucian's
that
recruiting
the
guards for
troll,
Westcliff.
the
Oh,
way
come
they
on,
tried
Westcliff's
to
a
make the
dump
fight work,
full of
which they
brawlers and
really
thugs.
did a bad
The
job
only
at
thing there's
programming
that
this fight.
arena.
The
But
Crucible. Those who
I
win
guess
it are
what
physically
they
tough
try to
and
intend with that
mentally
fight is that
weak. Lucian
you
is recruiting the winners.
the troll
of
has many
guards.
weak points, and
You
then
must
once
enter
you
the
destroy a
Crucible
weak
in
point,
Westcliff
the
and emerge
troll
from it victorious.
becomes invincible
It is the
for
only way into the spire.
a
The
full
only way
cycle,
to get to Garth
which
and
lasts
rescue him.
up to
At
like
last,
what,
some action.
10 to 12
Meet you
seconds
by the
maybe, and then after that you can attack it
bandit road,
again.
right.
You drop down another weak point, and then it gets invincible again for like 10 seconds, and then you repeat that process until he dies. But there's actually a way to bypass the invincibility protection, because normally if you do an AoE spell next to him, it's only gonna allow you to hit one point, and it's not gonna allow you to like cheese it and like hit everything. But there's like something you can abuse because the boss was like badly programmed, and you can hit all the weak points at once. And, it has to do with the taunting animation of the troll. They didn't put any protection on the taunting animation of the troll. Maybe because they didn't even consider that you would be able to hit the troll when he's taunting, because usually when he's taunting it's because you get hit and you're knocked back or like whatever.
I don't know. It's pretty high.
But sometimes even like casual play, you can like get hit, and then you're actually going to be able to get up fast enough to attack him before his stun animation is done. And that can happen to a lot of people. That seems to happen to a lot of people casually, and they don't even notice it's happening, where they're actually killing off more than one weak point at once, and they don't even realize it. And but yeah, that's the troll quick kill. Again, we took the Red Harvest quest before we left Marketplace, and that's the detour that I'm doing right now. You're supposed to go through Bandit Coast, but we're doing this quest beforehand. Doing a level 2 there is honestly on this route is not worth it, probably, because you have so much HP to work with. On current patch, you definitely want to do it because your HP is pretty important. Because on current patch you don't have that much HP, and you need enough HP to survive one Balverine strike on the Hauling Halls. Because usually with the strat that you go for, you're like 90% of the time you're gonna get hit once by a Wolverine, and you need to be able to have enough HP to tank it. Also, I'm still using Shock at this point. I would usually use Inferno, but
Lucian's writings are fascinating.
it actually doesn't matter at this point because
there is much in them that may interest you.
like Shock takes more time to kill Jill, but since you're just casting the spell and running away, there's no time saved from using Inferno. Like Inferno or Shock, it doesn't matter at this point. but for a lot of fights, usually you want to be using Inferno rather than Shock, just because Inferno kills faster. And it seemed that in this run, at this point, I was still using Shock more than I was supposed to use. But, Shock is nice because it never misses, but well, again, like, I'm killing stuff with Shock here, that's fine. Because it doesn't matter how much time you take to kill them. You do want to kill a few of them. I usually don't kill that many. On this section, unfortunately, the only thing you're doing is you're waiting for Hammer to come, and I believe from my testing, the best way to get hammered quickly to this gate is usually to avoid all the enemies except the last pack, and then you simply stand against the wall here and you wait. You don't look this way, you look at the door and you stay at the door. I believe is usually the fastest way to get Hammer to come near you. So, it's unfortunately a pretty slow section here if you're just waiting.
This must be the infamous barricade. Doesn't look that tough.
That was a pretty nice roll right there. Well-timed roll.
Stand and fight, you
cowardly knave. You can actually skip that cutscene if you equip safety off and you do a Inferno level 5 near the door that hits the bandit. And that's actually going to kill him, and that's going to skip the cutscene. So that's something you can optimize there. Now for next section. I doubt that I knew about... Yeah, I forgot to... I forgot to equip level 1
I heard this one story
time stop.
about these traders who got attacked.
So at the beginning of the section, you are stuck on slow speed. So you can actually take advantage of time stop to do assassin rush forward, and you're gonna, yeah, this is really bad. This is really bad. Yeah, that's really, 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 really bad. Oh god, that was a total mess. Right? But yeah, this segment was like cycle based because the amount of time you save depends on which line of dialogue you get to this point, like which Hammer line of dialogue you get there. Because Hammer's gonna finish saying whichever line of dialogue she was saying when you reach that cutscene. So as long as you reach like the fastest cutscene you can, like the fastest line of dialogue you can reach, you're gonna save the most amount of time. But yeah, you want to take corners carefully, and you want to use time stop carefully. It's better to do them a little bit slower and take the time, the extra half a second to line it up, because there's a lot of things you can get stuck on this this first section of the map when you're using time stop 1 dashes. So you want to be careful about that. Also, you're waiting there for Hammer. And then you're killing off, well, you're shooting off Lilith. And the reason you do that is it's a time investment, obviously, because you're waiting and you have to kill her. But it makes this segment a lot faster. So the upcoming cutscene is you will gain that time back, essentially. You will gain the time back here because the cutscene you're gonna get, ooh, second wall. Cutscene you're gonna get coming up is gonna be much quicker.
Welcome to our home.
You still have to wait for Hammer to come back though.
Children,
I bring you flesh.
well, I feel right at home here. You seem to have spent a lot of time underground since I met you.
Yeah. Let's see. Like the setup here is basically you stand in front of the lid, you wait for it to stop talking, and then 2 Balverines spawn. You charge a level 4 Inferno right away, and if you're standing in the right spot, you should be able to hit the Balverine every time. And then stinging on this spot with Vortex is very, very good. So again, you're standing in the middle. I was standing a little bit more to the left at the beginning, which was kind of weird, but you're standing in the middle. You do a level 4 Inferno as soon as you can. Should cut off the 2 Balverines, and then their spot to the right. I was standing behind the pillar. You're gonna do a vortex at a specific cue in the voice line. You're gonna release that. It's gonna kill off 2 Balverines, and then you do another vortex right away, and that's gonna kill off another 2 Balverines. So you kill. So to recap, there's 2 at the beginning, at the middle. There's gonna be 2 waves of 2 on the right side, and there's just gonna be more line of dialogue, and then there's gonna be 2 more on the left side. Which all of these you can activate vortex early, so that you kill the Balverine as soon as they spawn in. And there's just gonna be the final boss, which actually a targeted level 4 is enough to kill, but because you're waiting on the spell, you're doing level 5, doesn't matter. And that's pretty much the Hollowing Hall section. There's a little bit of tricky movement here at the end. A little bit of Albion rally action. Drifting these corners. And just like that, we're on to Westcliff. And again, to go to the arena, you need 2.5k. And we'll see what I do here. But if you don't have enough, and you do trophy grind here, and you do get enough during the trophy grind of this section, you will have there's going to be a queue that will tell you if you have enough. Let's see. Now I'm probably gonna press start to check my. Yeah, I already had enough. I probably had something like 2,500 and like 1 or 2 renown points or something. I probably getting to Westcliff. I probably had like barely enough. Because I did a few trophies there, and I had like I was like 69 over. But if you don't have enough going into Westcliff with enough renown point, there's gonna be a Teresa is gonna do a voice line where she said that you're learning you're learning the blow kiss expression, I believe. So that's the cue that you're gonna be using right there.
What will it be this time? Nice buying off ya.
And we're off to the arena.
That's there, but with good reason.
Now moving on to the arena.
The new guy. It's your lucky day. Get your ass in there. You might want to read up on the rules.
At the beginning of the arena, you want to use the money you have to. You want to sell off the cutlass that you got at the beginning of the.
So, here we are, Mad Dog.
What is it? Like before the Hollowing Halls, it sells for a massive amount of money, like something like 3,500 ish. And you want to buy some potions because you're going to need them for the. Well, it's not as useful in this route, but it's pretty useful. It can be pretty useful in the arena, and also the you're buying off the a pistol, that's gonna make some of these rounds at the end much quicker. On this round, it's gonna be interesting to watch what I'm doing because I haven't seen like vortex strats in so long. But yeah, like Vortex is very, very, very good for this first round. And also, like this round is like so much different than the current patch route because on current patch you're using this round to do like potion abuse and stuff to get a bunch of EXP, and you need to like to hide behind the pillar to keep the excitement level high. But you don't need to do that here. So. Right, round 2. Oh, a little bit off, unfortunately.
3, 2, 1.
I don't know why I went. Oh no, I just tried to charge. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. I tried to be too greedy, charge early, and then because I needed to release the charge and it was time stop, I lost a little bit more time. That's pretty bad so far. That's really not the best way to. What am I gonna do? Oh, I'm doing 2-player strategy. Really?
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, well. It's definitely not the kind of strat I would go for nowadays if I were to play this route again. There's like much better ways with only Inferno and Pistol that you can clear these waves of hops. Now this round is pretty consistent. So you kill off the first dude with the in this case the Shark Bell. So the Shark Bell here is pretty useful since it doesn't miss, but Inferno would typically do the same thing. Oh, actually, I'm doing 2-player strat here too. But typically, it's you kill the two mage, you kill 1 bomb, and then you kill the 2 mage at the beginning of the area. Find the bomb to like proceed with the last to the next wave. Then again, it's 2 mages, and then you find the bomb to proceed. And then the last wave, there's a bunch of hobs. And then when you kill the hobs, if the round is not done, you have to look out for the bombs. So the bomb will keep spawning over and over again. So you kind of have to keep that in the back of your mind if you want to end the round, but also if you want to end the waves. It's kind of important. So level 4 opener, there's a lot of times there's got to be one of them that don't die. You just kill it with the pistol, move on, move to the safety spot, and then from here, obviously you're going to be spamming Inferno, but yeah, as long as you kill all the enemies before this voice line, you're going to be fine. And so basically, like for the first wave, once you're in a corner, like 2 level 5s will always clear them all. So after 2 level 5s, you wanna be on the lookout if there's any enemies surviving somehow, and take them out with this pistol. And then on the second wave, the enemies are gonna be closing in a lot more on you. So you're gonna want to use level 4 instead to keep you safe. You don't want to die. And then on the third wave announcement, you go to the middle, and then I switch the second player to Inferno. So you can do that by holding RT. You switch the first Inferno, and then when you're holding RT, you press A to apply Inferno to all the tiers. And by standing on these 2 spots, you're able to aggro both sides of the field. Where if you were to play only with 1 player, you wouldn't be able to aggro both sides. You would have to take out one side and then go back to the middle to aggro the rest of them. And you're typically always going to be using one potion during the round or at the end of the ultimate round, because the ultimate round is one of the rounds where you're going to take the most amount of damage if you want to kill stuff quickly. Now, round 5, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'm just doing this. So I'm doing one level 5 there, I guess. I have like a much better and consistent strat that I'm doing now, which is much different than this. You don't even go on the bridge now.
3, 2, 1, go!
There's gonna be 3 enemies there. I remember that I'm trying to snipe them. I only got one of them this time. So. Yeah, oh, that was a level 4, wasn't it? Or either that or they took damage from the barrel first. I didn't notice. Ooh, that's really bad. Yeah, this is really not optimal. Definitely a weak point of the run, strat-wise. And that's gonna be the last big guys. So like the final wave of around. Yeah, the third wave of round 5, there's going to be 6 of them spawning. There's going to be 3 of them spawning, and then a little bit later, you don't actually need to kill the first 3, but the last 3 will spawn a little bit later. And all 6 of them are strong enough that they will survive level 4 AoEs. So you're going to need to... It's going to be really important for you to use level 5 Inferno for these one. And yeah, that's something you want to be real careful with. Using Inferno, destroying barrels. The explosion Xbox for the barrel stay active for a very long time. So if you come back near them later on, you're gonna get hit. So was not a good thing to do. I'm pretty sure at this point in like back in 2018, I was like very much just like improv round 6, because round 6 is a mess. So I don't really blame myself for doing that, but since then I have put a lot of work into optimizing. Oh, I still got a sub 1 somehow. That's pretty good. But yeah, nowadays I do have a strat that is very consistent for round 6. Where if you do these things every time, it should guarantee you to have a sub 1. But yeah, I still got a sub 1 here, so, like barely. And then battling rounds, very quick round. So much so that you're generally gonna end the round before they're done explaining everything. So as long as you kill them just fast enough that the announcer are not done speaking, you won't lose time. And then only on the final wave there's going to be a white one, so for the white one it's going to be important for a level 5. And just like that, not bad. Made it to the last round. While you're waiting at the end of the round 7, you typically want to take time to equip Time Stop level 3 if you don't have it already. And you probably want to equip level 5 shock for safety. For this quick kill coming up. You can do this quick kill with level 5 Inferno. But there's a very tiny chance that you're going to miss. So as a safety, you're better off doing a level 5 shock. It's a very simple quick kill. It looks weird, but it's very simple to do. You have to do time stop level 3 before you touch a circle. Then touch the circle, run up to him, and then once you're next to him, do another time stop level 3. And then charge a level 5 shock as soon as you can, and that's it. And now I'm almost dead, which I'm trying to remember, but I think that's actually very good to have low HP here. but I don't quite remember why. Okay. At any rate, this section is going to be a little bit weird, and I will need to do some explaining to do.
That was fantastic. I listened to the commentaries every step of the way. I even got in to see a few rounds.
So,
that one with the
from
hogs
completing
was
the arena,
brilliant.
we get the Crucible Trophy,
Really
which
makes
is a
me want to
trophy
have
that
that myself.
start out
Yeah,
at
right. I'd get a big
it
head,
start with
but won't fit in the boat.
5 renown points, which is the higher value you can get on a trophy.
The spire's
And
not
we're gonna be
we're
gonna have a little bit of free time coming up, and we're gonna be doing
Anybody you want to see or
trophy
anything.
grinding right here because
Now's
there's a
the
lot of
time.
people, so that's gonna be really useful.
Anyway,
And
I'll make my way to the dock.
you can do up to 10
So
trophy
you know where to find me when you're all
usage
set to
with
go.
the 5 renown point trophy. So I'm doing here. You're actually waiting for Hammer to reach the other side of the thing, so you have a little bit of time to do that. I did way too many, I think, but it's better to do too many than not enough. And then I'm doing this. Also, the message there would not have appeared if I didn't have tutorials, I think.
Do not get on that
And you
ship
kill off
until
a
you are
bunch of
truly
people,
ready to
and
leave your
everything's great.
quests behind. Garth isn't going anywhere.
Well, here I am to say my goodbyes.
All right.
You know the last thing I said to my father before I went to the
Where
Ritual
to begin?
Cave? I can't remember.
Why do you kill a bunch of people?
I can't remember if
It's
I
actually
said
very
goodbye
simple.
or not.
It's
the funny
because
thing about
at the end of the
goodbyes.
game, if you're evil
You never
enough,
know when you'll get another one. I'm
actually,
sorry, I didn't
depending
mean-
on your
This isn't like that.
how do you
You're great out there.
call this? But basically, depending on if you're evil enough or
No personal effects
if, like
allowed on
depending if
board
you're
and
evil
no
or a good person,
no
you can have like different cutscenes at the very end of the game with Hammer.
I'll look after
And it happens that
And
if you're evil enough, the line of dialogue Hammer's gonna say is gonna be the most optimal one for the speedrun. And it just happens that killing these enemies,
Consume healing potions.
no, not
or food to heal.
well, that was a mess. Killing the civilian there at the end of the Crucible gives you just enough point to be in it evil enough at the end of the game. So that's why we take advantage of that there. And now to explain a little bit the trophy grind and the renown situation for the end of the game. Like I said, there's gonna be only one more renown threshold for the end of the game. It's gonna be with the Reavers of Mention. So just before the Shadow Court, and you're gonna need a 20k renown point threshold to be able to proceed with the end of the game. And the way the renown route works is it's pretty simple.
With my little 13 years,
Um,
been faithful the whole time.
Right now,
If you
you
could see her, you'd
let's
understand
say
why.
you started the
Name's Bob, by the way.
the Crucible. You started the Crucible with exactly 2.5k renown points.
Feel it.
And then now, because you did the Crucible, you got an extra. It's a Crucible to Teth Aspire, but you get an extra 5,000 from that. So it puts you at 7.5k. And now, if you do all the do I have my phone? If you do all the side quests, which are going to be the Hop Squatters, which gives 3.5k. If you do Something's Rotten, which is 3.5k as well, and then Evil and Rage Mart, which give 4k
Chaos does not
renown
punish
points,
evil, nor reward righteousness. Chaos
along with
cuts
3 bars
innocent
usage.
lives short, and we're to accept this as fate.
It's going to mean that you're going to be
I beg to
short of
differ.
300
You
renown
stand in
points
the center of
that
a
you're going to
great
be
instrument
need
of
to
change.
get with trophy
With it,
grinding.
I shall remake the world, and my creation shall be
Also, at this point you can. This is usually my
in
pee
its
break.
perfection. But My will alone is
This
not
is usually my
sufficient
pee break,
for such a
so
monumental task. It is
I pretty
only
much
through
always
your toil,
take a pee break here.
through
It's
your
kind of
labors,
also
through
like
your
it's kind of
conviction,
muscle memory.
Albion will be
It's kind of funny, but
transformed.
yeah.
Do not fear the sound.
But let me take my
of
calculator
problem
real
beneath
quick so I
your
can
feet. These
visualize this
sensations
better.
will soon be as familiar as your own heartbeat. And so long as your heart continues to beat, all that I require of you is obedience. Now, sleep.
Sleep. Right. So, like I said, you're beginning the Crucible with 2.5K. You get the 5,000K for it's either the Crucible or the Tataspire. So it puts you at 7.5K.
Morning, maggot.
You're gonna be doing the Something's Rotten quest, which is a
Right now, you're in the barracks.
3.5K. So now you're at 11K. You're gonna be doing the Hub Squatters, which is also a 3.5K. So now you're at 14.5K. You're gonna be doing the Evil in Rashmart quest, which is a 4K renown points. And so this puts you at 18.5. So you need a 1,500 renown points to end the game, basically. So you need to somehow, with trophy grind and bard, to get 1.5k renown points. And what you're gonna do to do that is it's actually very simple, because bard at the end of the game will give you 400 renown points per usage. So you got the way the route is set up, you're actually going to be able to use the bard 3 times. So what that means is there's going to be a 300 renown points left that you're going to need to acquire with trophy grinding specifically.
Oh, if Lil could see me now.
So yeah, with all of this and doing bards 3 times, you only need to gather 300 renown points with trophy grind. And it turns out that at the Crucible, at the end of the Crucible with the Crucible trophy, if you get enough NPCs and you do at least like 10 of them, you're very likely to get either 300 or almost 300. So, if you don't get 300 at this point, there's going to be an easy way for you to do it without losing much time at all later on. But yeah, that's pretty much like how the route works. You won't really need to worry about trophy grind at all if you follow the route like this. So the renown route is very stable. You don't have to worry too much about that. But yeah, now we're in the Tataspire. Very fun place.
It's not. Commandant. You are recruit 273. That number is not random. It was assigned to you because I have broken 272 recruits before you. You are nothing more than the next link in the chain. You have been brought here to oversee the reconstruction of the tattered spire and to serve Lucian as he sees fit.
So yeah, beginning of the Tataspire is usually my pee break.
Of guards like
I like always take a pee break there.
You will do everything I tell you.
It's a very nice break to take.
Failure to obey will cause the
when
device
you
around your neck
after the cutscene with Lucian, when you're able to move for the first time inside the Tataspire, there's a very luck-based rare skip that you can get, where the door that's locked ahead, that only opens when the cutscene is done. That door can open if a guard is passing by, so you can actually like skip the cutscene if you're really, really lucky. If you want to see what happened, oh, am I gonna get? Okay, cool, nice. If you want to see what that cutscene skip that I'm talking about looks like, you should check out my Fable 2, glitchless no-hit run. It actually happened in that run, which is crazy. I managed to skip the cutscene in that no-hit run. Of obedience.
Let us see how well you have learned. I am going to hit you, and you are going to thank me.
But yeah, otherwise there's... Honestly, there won't be too much to talk about in the Crucible for a while.
Thank me. Obey.
At the beginning of the Commandant cutscene there, if you're standing in the proper spot, you're able to skip one line of dialogue, which I got in this run, which is good. And you definitely want to obey on every option here, otherwise you're getting electrocuted, and it's a big time waster because you have to watch your character take damage, and then like Lucian or like Teresa is like talking to you in your brain or something. It's really, really slow if you decide to disobey.
That will be all.
So just obey like a good boy and move on with the next cutscene.
The Commandant made me talk.
Recruit 273.
Yeah, right there. As soon as you skip the cutscene, you want to move backwards. Go to the guard, because the guard wants to talk to you. And the guard is what triggers the next set of events. So the faster you can go to the guard and make him talk, the faster it's going to be.
Stand here and guard these maggots till I get back. They're not allowed any food.
Then, yeah, once that one guard that you went to is done talking, the gates open. You can go here to proceed with this segment of the game. Yum, yum. This section is a treatment timer, but
obey.
If you give food 3 times, you're gonna faint out, and you're gonna be able to skip the remaining time on the timer. So you're saving at least 2 minutes from doing this. So it's a big time saver.
Obey. You were ordered to withhold food.
And I believe there's a little bit of randomness to these like mini cutscene switches.
Obey. Let them starve.
Because I believe you can save different amount of time. Something I never quite understood, but it is what it is.
Commandant wants to see you.
Now, after the cutscene, you wanna... What I'm usually doing is I'm holding up and left. I'm like buffering up and left, and then I'm running. And then as you turn this corner and enter the door that I just entered, there is a chance. And that's by the way, that's every time you go there. You go there. So even earlier, I actually didn't mention it, but it's the same thing. As soon as you enter that door, like turn the corner and enter the door, there's a chance that you're gonna get slow speed. And if you do, you can fix your speed by pressing the first person button.
I order you to be quiet.
That's something that I also covered in my movement tutorial. So be sure to check that out if you want to know more about the movement of Fable 2 and the little gimmicks about the floor tiles and whatnot.
Take this sword.
Take the sword. You want to be facing away from Commandant. Take the sword. Press X to skip the box and kill Bob when you can, when it's close. There you go.
Kill him.
And if it wasn't obvious, you want to face away from the Commandant, because when you're pressing X, you're actually also using the sword, and if you accidentally hit the Commandant, you're gonna be losing time from him getting mad at you. Big surprise, right? So, skip cutscene as soon as the gets black. Getting slowly but surely near the end of the Tetrad Spire.
You want to go without food for a week? I can arrange it.
Do you guys want to go without food for a week? I sure don't. Anyway.
Officer 273.
And then this one, I believe I buffer forward. No, I think this one, I think it might be the one where I think I'm doing up and. Oh yeah, I got slow speed right there. That's what I'm talking about. I pressed the first person button to fix it.
Construction of the upper tier. Investigate the construction site.
Now. As you go down to the right, there's also a very small chance that you're going to get a slow tile. So you might have to be on the lookout for that and fix your speed if needed. But otherwise, like, everything's pretty safe. You don't need to worry about anything else. Now we're going to be using the taking advantage of the hex button again. I'm going to be pressing it 3 times. So, you're getting a sword, you're getting a pistol, and you're getting 3 potions. So, I press X 3 times so I can get through the weapons quickly and then use 1 potion.
Years to focus enough
as you saw, like, I was on low HP, and then, you know, using a potion right now is really useful, and then I keep the 2 potions for later on, which you're really gonna need the potions for the late game.
Is through the Commandant's chamber.
There's a few boss skills where you need to take advantage of getting damage for to get the outcome that you need.
That's the will user, and he's not wearing a collar.
Now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be using the pistol for these on this route. Oh yeah! Oh, right. On the unpatched version, there's not as many guards, and most of the guards are weaker too. Because, like, after the first 2 guards, there was 2 more guards, and usually on the current patch version, there's 3 of them, and one of them is able to survive the level 4 spells. This one survived the spell because it actually dodged it. It actually dodged the spell. It was an Inferno Mist. What we call an Inferno Mist, that was another Inferno Mist. Quite unfortunate, but Inferno Mists are not as punishing in this route because you have access to level 5 accuracy and speed. Which on the current patch, if you have enough EXP to work with, you have like accuracy level 4, but you only have like speed 2, if even. Oh yeah, wow, that's yeah, no, that on current patch this is like on current patch this is like there's like way more enemies and they won't survive. They will survive level 4. You're gonna have to do level 5 on current patch on that section. But yeah, on patch this is very much a unpatched version difference for some reason, or just like something about the
Now we need to find the commandant.
the Xbox 360 performance that makes it spawn, I don't know, makes them not spawn or something.
You betray me. Lord Lucian will kill me for failing to keep order. But I am obedient, and so before he does, I will eliminate you.
So, not quite the most optimal. This is very much not the most optimal opener, but everything else should be pretty fine. The Commandant's a pretty weird fight. It's a cycle-based fight where you have to do enough damage for him to teleport away. I believe you have to make him teleport 3 times, and then when he appears for the 4th time, this is when you can go for the kill. But he will only die on the final kill. He will only die once the 2 guards are dead. So basically, even if you do enough damage, he's always gonna be sitting on 1 HP until the other 2 guards are dead. And it also kind of works the same way for make him disappear from the waves, like make him like teleport away. It works about the same way, except for the very first, like the very beginning of the fight. At the beginning of the fight, you can actually, on this route especially, because you have accuracy level 5 and speed level 5. I went into the portal too early, by the way. I'm gonna talk about that in a bit, but on this route, I'm pretty confident that you can just like enter the battle circle and then shoot him in the head right away, make him disappear, kill two of the guards, and then proceed with the like normal strat, if you will, which is like you're using Inferno to kill the guards and hit the commandant at the same time. So the guards die and then the commandant disappears as well. But you have to wait for the 2 guards to be spawned in before you release the Inferno. If you release the Inferno too soon before the 2nd guard is spawned in, things will go very bad for you. Anyway, I went into the portal there too soon. So it's actually something you have to do and keep in mind. You have to wait outside a little bit. There's no like good visual or audio cue for it, really. It's just something you get used to it. And I guess in this one I got a little bit too greedy and I tried to go too fast. So yeah, that was the Tetrad Spire.
Your furry friend has been... Hammer is at the inn in Rookridge. You should see her. In the meantime, I will inform Garth of our progress. Take my hand, Garth. We have a great deal to discuss.
Do I have any choice?
Then after this voice line, you're gonna get a trophy. I think I'm gonna go for it. I guess... I don't know if I did that on purpose or not, but yeah, you can cancel the trophy with a vault animation. Typically, you want to vault a little bit closer to the bridge so you don't jump as far. So that's a little bit faster, but I mean, still worked out in a way. Skipped the trophy animation and was able to teleport away a little bit quicker.
If I didn't know better, it is you.
Now from here, we're listening to
You old bastard.
a little bit more of Hammer's dialogue before we can run away and warp to our next destination.
You're really here.
I heard someone accidentally summoned lots of undead in Bowerstone. Once my murderer...
You did it. You rescued Garth.
You did it.
Took your sweet time, all right, but you did it.
Only took 10 years.
I never gave up hope. Kind of hard to when every day someone's whispering in your head about their vision of the hero's safe return. Honestly, there were a few times there I wanted to smack Teresa. Anyway, welcome back. So what was it like in there? As horrible as I imagined? Well, never mind. I'll find out soon enough myself.
And that's the line where
Back
you're
in
going to be able to
business.
leave. And leaving. Now, this one, it's kind of a gacha moment. Like a gotcha. Yeah, you actually have to manually warp to the guild cave because the game wants you to... I guess it wants you to... It wants you to wait for a while. Like it wants the in-game time to move on for a bit before you can proceed with the main
Our
story.
friend has told me much about
So if you try to quest warp,
that night in the castle.
it won't let you warp to the guild cave because it's gonna be.
I had no idea.
It says something about waiting time-wise or something. But if you manually warp to the guild cave, because it takes so much time to warp to the guild cave, it actually going to work. So you're actually going to be able to proceed with the main story if
Sorry
you
it took me so long.
warp manually to
We
the
need to
guild
get to my
cave.
tower. The Cullis gate there will take us to the thief.
Take us to the thief. And then map and quest. And coming up, we have one of the most annoying sections in the speedrun. The Brightwood Defense segment. Now, thankfully, on the on this version of the game, it's actually not that bad, as far as I remember. It's still long. It's still a long, kind of boring segment, but at least it's not as punishing time-wise.
Care who you hurt or kill, do you?
Right. And nothing that ancient could possibly contain any wisdom.
Hey, these aren't old kingdom schematics that teach you how to build guns that shoot lightning. It's a load of superstitious nonsense that never helped anybody. And if you swallow it all, it can get you killed.
So yeah, at some point in that cutscene, you're able to just run away from them. Oh, getting stuck in the rock, not good. Oh, okay, I'm going this way. You can actually cut to the left, which is a little bit more optimal. And then from here, you do a quick warp around the corner, and if you do that, you'll guarantee that the cutscene will proceed on. If you don't do that, you're gonna show up to the tower and nothing's gonna happen. Guard and Hammer will not follow you, I believe. So that's very important to do. Again, just dodging these enemies. There's really no need to fight them. It's a good thing. There's gonna be one shard there that you're gonna have to take out when once you're up there. Let's see how many enemies there's there. There's a few of them, but from what I remember, yeah, they can die. Yeah, they die to. I'm not sure they. I'm not actually sure if on current patch they die to level 4. I'm actually not sure. Also, the nice thing of this route is you can take out the shard with pistol rather easily, without too much problem. Even though I failed to do so there. But yeah, you have enough time to clear most of the enemies. The guard's always going to be the first to come around, and then Hammer's going to be lagging behind, which is a little bit annoying, a little bit troublesome. And there she is. Make sure to stay close to him so that the cuts. Well, don't block hammer though. Oh yeah, I should not been. I should have been. Yeah, I should have been here. This is the spot where you want to stand.
The two of you to watch my back.
You really want to be careful to not mess where with the NPCs pathing too much.
Right, will you? Is that a shark? A sunset? That thing's a bloody nightmare.
So at least on the old route, the this segment would work like this. You would typically want to use either Shock or Inferno. Not quite sure which one is better. At least Shock doesn't kill. But I think on current patch sometimes Shock doesn't kill the big guards. On unpatch, you don't get the big enemies like the really like strong enemies, like the one that looks more like a captain. You don't get these enemies on patch for some reason. So it's always going to be 2 to 3 enemies. It seems like I'm getting a really bad pattern there, and I'm getting 4 spawns. But so you're going to go back and forth, killing enemies until this the Colossus Gate K power is full. Really, the goal here, the goal is that you don't want guard to take damage, because that's gonna stop the Colossus Gate progress. So that's the goal you're taking here. So you want to be real careful about them getting close to guard, or like guard getting the aggro. In some cases, hammer can be pretty good at. Can be actually pretty useful, surprisingly, in this segment. But this method of doing this segment, I'm doing a completely different approach nowadays by taking advantage of what is it, like summons? Raise Dead. Yeah, Raise Dead. It's a really weird strat. You would have to watch what I do, but nowadays I'm not doing this strat anymore. I'm actually taking advantage of Raise Dead instead. It's a little bit more consistent. Well, it's especially more consistent for current patch. For this route, it doesn't really matter as much. Like, this usually goes pretty well. But you can still get trolled rather easily here. The guards are weaker here, and you don't get the captain on the unpatched version. So.
Don't let up now. I'm almost finished.
Right. Be careful here. You do not want to be standing in the middle of the Colossus Gate as it gets spawned in. You want to stand outside. It's kind of the same deal of the that one teleporter after a Covenant fight, where you if you go inside the teleporter too soon, you won't be able to interact with it. So same thing. Stand outside. Wait for the 100% to be done in the trigger to appear, and then go in and teleport away. It's also want to be especially careful and be on the lookout for your HP value. If we check right now, I'm actually doing really, really good on HP right now, so I'm going to be fine. But you do not want to start the the Rage Mart segment on low HP. There's a few things you can do. There's a few things you can do to fix that. You can try to...
What have we got here?
you can either like take damage on purpose during the right tower segment, so that you like trigger a potion prompt and then use the potion. You can do that if you want to, or you can like risk it during the fight, the upcoming fight itself, and try to use a potion if you can. But if for some reason you don't have potion and you didn't have the time to set it up, and like you're super duper low on HP going into a Banshee fight, the best thing you can do is simply go into your ability menu, downgrade toughness by 1 level, and then upgrade the toughness level if you want to. But doing a toughness downgrade will refill your HP. So you can either do a downgrade or upgrade. As long as you do one of those. Actually, I don't know if it downgrade doesn't. But at worst case scenario, you can like downgrade once and then upgrade. But whatever. As long as you mess with the toughness, you can like reset your HP value.
You should be able to hear me now. You're alive. The colors gave
Now, after the cutscene, you want to take the time to put Inferno level 5 on your slot. That's very important. Forget it was something else. Like, Inferno level 5 is definitely what you like, the important thing. I don't remember now in my... I think in my current route, I also want to put Inferno level 3 on my slot for Hop Squatters, I think. But yeah, if you ever need to swap spells, this will be the best time for you to swap spell without losing time. There's a few other spots you can do it, but usually that's like the best spot to set your spell for most of the rest of the game. There's going to be a few more switches later on, but not too much. And so, doing well on HP, going into the first Banshee fight. We have 5 Banshee to fight in the speedrun, and this is going to be the first one. This is kind of I would say, one of the trickiest one to get the quick kill, because there's not really that good of a visual cue for it. But the quick kill, the way it works is you want to take advantage of Inferno level 5, and you want to stay far away from the Banshee, but not too far away that you don't reach. And then you want to wait for the spawns, and then release. And there you go, that's the Banshee kill. The way it works is the Banshee is invincible until all the minions are dead. So basically you have to wait for the minions to spawn in. And the minions are going to spawn next to you, so because you're waiting for all the minions to spawn and whatnot, you're generally going to take a lot of damage because the minions are going to be there, and you're going to be standing there like charging, and they're going to hit you, you're going to take damage. So you hold the level 5 charge, you delay a little bit until all the minions are spawned in, and then you hope you don't get an Inferno miss, because basically what you want to do, because the Inferno spell, the way it works, is it increases in radius as the spell is released. So the early part of the hitbox of the attack will kill the minions that are around you, and then as it grows in radius, and the Banshee becomes vulnerable, it's gonna hit the Banshee and kill it. It's gonna do enough damage to also kill it in a single blow. So with the Banshee quick kill, it's a matter of spacing, like standing in the right spot and releasing at the right time. I don't like this position. I don't like to be this close to it. I usually rather like to stand at the... Yeah, that's exactly why. Okay, so the backup, if you do kill all the minions and you don't get the Banshee kill, that's like or like that's the least worst of the worst scenarios. Basically,
Nearly safe.
if you kill all the minions but it didn't kill the banshee, like that's actually not that bad. But it actually gets pretty bad if you fail to kill one of the minions, which is usually not in your control unless if you got too greedy and you released early. But yeah, you generally don't want to stand where I just did. You want to generally stand just before the bottom of the stairs. Is usually a better spot for that. It was hard to tell right now why I missed the quick kill, but I'm pretty sure I just was like barely too far away. I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Thankfully on this route, like the because you have access to speed level 5, accuracy level 5, and the pistol from the not the crucible, but the Tetraspire, you can back it up the Banshee rather quickly.
House in Bloodstone.
Otherwise, you just have to quickly charge in at a level 5.
I suggest you go and make the thief.
At any rate, we are in Bloodstone, and we're now at the end of the game. We need to... Right now, the goal is to get 20k renown points as fast as possible. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to trigger the waterfront spawn teleport, because that's going to be a teleport we're going to be using a lot. And then use this opportunity to talk to our first bard. Like I said earlier when I explained the renown route for the end of the game. There's 3 side quests we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking to the bard 3 times. And then we need a total of 300 renown points grinded with a trophy grind specifically. Which, if you got good luck and you did it well, that's already done with at the end of the arena. So if you did a good job and you got like decent luck, you shouldn't have to worry about trophy grind anymore. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But the first quest we're going to be doing is Something's Rotten, which is a rather quick, one of the quickest side quests to do. The only thing we need to do is warp to Rookbridge, talk to this bartender, and then head out to the secret area in the back to kill the troll, and that's gonna be it. So yeah, into the Wellspring Cave. Actually, I'm gonna be very curious to see what I'm gonna do here. I actually don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, I'm doing this method. Okay, yeah. This is like a pretty bad method to use, but this is like the best method that I found back then, I guess. It's a fairly risky way to do it, because it's actually rather precise. It might not seem like it, but it's rather precise because if you're too close, if you position the player 1 too close to the troll, you're gonna get an attack, like a physical attack, instead of a range attack, and that's gonna kill the setup. And if you're slightly too far away, the player 2 won't be able to get close enough for the level 5 to hit all the troll nods. But like I said with the troll quick kills, it worked the exact same way as the first troll quick kill, where you're taking advantage of the taunt animation to get past the invincibility trigger of sorts. So there's a much better way to do that setup that I'm using now. So if you're ever wanted to learn that trick, you should probably check out my current patch speedrun instead. So we're down with our first side quest. Now I didn't see what I was doing. Well, I'm going to market, so obviously I'm doing Evil and Rage Mart next, which is kind of surprising because now I'm doing Evil and Rage Mart last. it doesn't really matter too much. Like, it technically doesn't matter speed-wise. Oh, you would typically... Oh. Oh, yeah, I just realized I was supposed to talk to the bard, yeah. Yeah. Oh, small mistake there. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's rather unfortunate. Okay, so some time lost there. But yeah, you want to talk to the bard before you go upstairs?
You there? Just the kind of fellow I was hoping to run into. Good. I just haven't got the energy to pull them out of their ridiculous scrapes anymore.
But yeah, the order anymore doesn't really matter. There used to be a point where it sort of mattered when you were doing like one-player strats for the troll quick kill, because then you had to switch to shock level 5 into shock level 5 because you need Inferno level 5 for the Banshee, and you need the level 5 shock for the troll. But also, in general speaking, I think the only thing that's really have to keep in mind is the level of your HP, like the amount of HP you have. You might not want to do one of the other quests, or you kind of want to think about the order of the quest depending on how you manage your HP in the run. But honestly, in the end, it doesn't really matter too much. So in the end, I always do the same order every time, really. If you're really in a pinch for HP, this chest that's right here, you have some time to open it during the cutscene. And the chest itself is a RNG chest, but there's a chance there's going to be a potion inside that you can use.
Thank you.
For HP purposes. So if you're really, really in a pinch, that's something you can consider.
The important thing is that it's all over. Well, not quite.
Not quite.
Go on, tell him. No, you tell him.
But yeah, the quest Evil and Rage Mark is
we found this cave.
It's a quite infamous quest for me because it's by far the biggest run killer of the
slaughtering everything in its path.
The entire end game speedrun.
Please, if Mother finds out.
Now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be doing it a little bit safe. There's something that's gonna be a little bit safer.
Yeah.
In this run compared to what I do now on current patch, but yeah, after the cutscene you can warp to Bloodstone. Oh yeah, something else I wanted to talk about. It's also like very important in this game to know when you can use D-pad or start. So that's something I keep track of in my notes quite a bit. I always keep track of this place I can use D-pad, it's faster, or this place is faster to press start, something like that. So for this point, you want to go to the Banshee as fast as possible to avoid bad things happening. You want to go towards the Banshee to trigger her, and then you want to go back a little bit so you can kill the minion and kill the Banshee. And there you go, she's dead. Also, oh wow, there's like a few things to talk about here. Interesting enough. Oh wow, actually, okay, there's like a lot of things to talk about actually. Actually, I didn't do the strat that I thought I was going for too. Yeah, I didn't go to the bard exactly. I thought I was doing it safe back then and going to the bard, but I risk it. Okay, well, I mean, let's just see what happens first. There's a few things that I need to talk about.
These streets are forever.
Okay, well, seems I got lucky. Alright. Well, there's a glitch that can happen here. But first of all, the Banshee on Unpatch. The Banshee on Unpatch is red. And if you play the game on current patch, the Banshee is going to be white. And so the Banshee in Bloodstone on current patch actually has more HP than the regular Banshee. And will typically survive level 5 Inferno like barely, so you're going to have to do a single like range shot, I believe, from memory. That's what I remember.
They won't tell me what happened.
The safe strat to do is usually once you're done, with killing the Banshee, you want to go back
My boys are safe,
near
and
the
I just
town
have to
of
chase
Bloodstone
after them
and
through a
talk to the
swamp.
bard.
That's the main thing.
By the way, after the cutscene, you want to whistle, and then if you mash A, you're gonna bolt and cancel the trophy. You're going to then do the bard again. If you need to, that's actually overkill. That's completely overkill. Like right now, I should have enough. I think. If normally, if you're following the route that I have now, this should be enough. But oh no, yeah, no, right. I do need to do the bard again because I didn't do it. I didn't see my. Oh no, wait, that's why. Okay, yeah, right. Because I usually do. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's why you usually want to do evil and rage smart last. That's why. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, that's something that's not optimal. You want to do evil and rage smart last. That's for sure. Okay. Anyway, let's go back again. There's like a few things that I wanted to talk. I talked about the Banshee in Bloodstone. That's different from unpatched to current patch. And then now after you kill the Banshee in Bloodstone, if you warp right away, you're very likely to encounter a glitch getting back to Bowerstone Market, where Max and Sam will run away from the cutscene. And if that happens, your speedrun could die. You could either like lose 2 minutes or even like soft lock your game. It's a really bad situation happen, which is why the save strat is usually you wanna, if you run back to inside, like if you go back to like Bloodstone and then talk to the bard, do a little bit of trophy grind. It's usually gonna be good enough to prevent the glitch from happening. But if you warp too soon after killing the Banshee, kind of like what I just did, you're usually gonna get the glitch. And now that I think about it, usually like in my current patch speedrun, as soon as the Banshee is dead, I'm warping like super quickly. But I noticed in the video I went back just a little bit. I'm like tried to delay it a little bit in hope that it avoided the glitch, but I don't think that's enough usually to avoid the glitch. But it's a very strange glitch, which I don't exactly know how it works and why it works. I wish I knew more about why, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think at this point, considering what I've done now, like I should have like way too much on point. Again, the only thing you need is you need to do all the side quests that I said. That's not a problem, that I do every time. You need to talk to 3 bards, and then you only need 300 renown points from trophy grinding, which with the trophy grind you do at Saturn the Crucible, it's usually good enough, or like you're only missing like 20 points. And the backup, if you don't have enough, what you can do is as soon as the Evil and Reshmart quest is done, you're gonna be like vaulting off the rail down where the bard is, and because you use the bard, there's gonna be a bunch of people, and the Evil and Reshmart quest gives you a 4 renown trophy, and you're gonna be able to use that to just get the last point you need. It's only gonna take like an extra 5 seconds if you somehow don't have enough renown points. So it's better to use Evil and Reshmart last, because it's easier to grind trophy points if you ever need them. That's one of the idea, basically. If something really bad happened, or somehow you forgot the bard, or you teleported it away before the bard started to sing, and you missed out on one of the 400 renown points it gives, you can back it up there with another bard at Bowerstone and do a bunch of trophy grind super easily there to catch up on points if you ever need to. So that's why I very heavily recommend doing Evil and Reshmart last. Not like what I just did in this run.
Hey, mate.
And I mean, that's pretty much it. And right now we're closing in on the end. We have the Shadow Court left to do, and then final dungeon, final battle, and then final cutscene, and we're pretty much done after that.
Visitors to my little coastal paradise. You must be looking for someone, and who else could it be but me? A celebrity of your stature is bound to seek out fellow luminaries after all. Oh, come. You didn't think
there's actually kind of a reason that I'm standing in the back of the room, or at least that what I used to believe then that it might help or something. I used to stand in the back of the room because I thought maybe it would help a skip that you can getting out of this room after you get the seal. You're gonna get to see it in a bit.
No, in a hurry. Well, deliver the seal over there to the Shadow Court in Wraithmarsh, and we'll talk more.
So you grab the seal, and then when the door opens, you're gonna be able to leave. Do be very careful. You can actually leave this room too quickly, and it won't trigger the next set of events. So you need to be very careful. Like, that was like super aggressive there. And then at this point, the D-pad prompt appeared, and I was able to enter the menu and warp away to my next destination. That is a skip that is only possible on Xbox 360 unpatched version. That's a skip that it's no longer possible on current patch Xbox One, Xbox Series S. And I'm not sure if it has to do with the patch itself, or it has to do with the game just loading faster and stuff like that. Also, this is the easiest Banshee in the game because you have a nice visual cue on the ground. And also, most of the time, the minions won't be aggressive for this one for some reason. So it's by far the most consistent Banshee to perform the quick kill on. But anyway, I do not recommend leaving Reaver's room as aggressive that I just did there, because there's a chance that you will it's gonna cause the cutscene to not progress, actually. And also, yeah, the skip that I just did there, if you get out of the room and then once you're like near the entrance, if you start spamming the D-pad prompt, you might be able to access the menu and warp away, which saves, I believe it saves at least 15 seconds, so it's kind of big. But yeah, that's something that doesn't work on current patch, or at least, like, I was never able to get it to work, ever. Oh god. Oh, I thought the game froze. Like, I was like, why did the game froze? I'm like, what is this? Did something happen with my recording? No, it's because I pressed the second. Oh yeah. Oh god. Okay. This is not the best way to do. This is not the best way to do this segment. You're actually better off just using Inferno and level 4s. It's actually a little bit faster to alternate between Inferno level 4s between both characters. Don't even bother using level 5. Just like keep the level 4 Inferno going with both characters, and also try to alternate between them instead of doing them at the same time. I believe that's what I was doing at any rate. That being said, it actually worked out pretty good that time. That was actually a pretty quick segment.
I woke up here. Where are we? I'm so scared.
Oh yeah, also very important. As you're getting in that room where you're fighting all the stuff, you need to press the door before you do anything else. So the first thing you do, you run into the door, and then you get next to the door, press A once, and then roll back a little bit to get in position, and then you you start charging spells and whatnot.
One of you carries the Dark Seal. But there are two. Only one is required. One will trade their youth and beauty so that the King of Thieves may retain his. This is the bargain we honor. The rules cannot be broken. We will take whoever bears the Dark Seal.
Yeah, this cutscene, I might not do the most optimal thing. I think I used to,
Please, I just want to see my parents again.
No, I guess this is when I figured out it was faster to keep it, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's when I, this is when I figured out that it was actually faster to keep it. Yeah. So I did a video about that, comparing if it was faster to keep it or give it to the woman. I believe this cutscene, when you're keeping it, is a little bit faster than giving it to the woman, and then the cutscene with Reaver after that is different, but both of them are about the same amount of time, I believe. I believe that's how it works. The disadvantage, though, is keeping the seal gives you some, like, good boy points, which is why it's really important to get a good amount of evil point by killing a bunch of people in what is it, after the Crucible, so you have enough evil points for the fastest dialogue option at the very end of the game. Well, yeah, otherwise that's pretty much it. We're almost done. We have the final dungeon, which is a little bit tricky to like move around. Like the movement is a little bit tricky. You're gonna have to do some like weapon swapping at the very specific point to avoid shooting at the enemies accidentally. It's gonna be very important. I'm gonna say it right now. It's gonna be very important for you to equip Time Stop level 2. In case you're unable to vault off the hole near the end.
Exactly like you, sir.
It's going to be very
In 3
important.
months, the picture will be developerized and...
3 months?
But yeah, I have not really talked too much about this during this video, but
not as vivacious as you once were.
Inferno and Shock are pretty good spells. Usually anything that level 5 Inferno kills, level 5 Shock will kill. The big difference between both spells is that Shock level 5 is a spell that never misses, where Inferno can miss if enemies squeeze in between the waves and whatnot. Also, do keep in mind that every tier of spell has a maximum amount of target they can hit. So let's say I'm giving like some random numbers here. Let's say like if you do a level 4 AoE spell, you can only hit like 5 enemies. So if there's 5 or 6 enemies, if there's 5 or 6 enemies within the radius, but the spell can only hit 4 targets, you're only gonna hit 4 targets, and that's dependent on the tier. So the higher the tier, it's more damage. The radius of the AoE is bigger, but it also allows you to target more enemies as well. Push Reaver there, and then escape. Do some weapon swapping to reset your speed. You can see the boost of speed here. Speed here is gonna be fine. I think I do one more. No, this is not here. I have to do one more there. Definitely, I'm stuck in slow speed there. Okay, in this hallway, you want to do it before the explosion, because there's going to be enemies if you try to do a weapon swap. Let's swap them there again. You really want to be careful to not weapon swap when there's enemies. This squeeze right here is a little bit tricky. You have to get good luck. Perfect. Now you want to hurry up, do one more weapon swap. and then you're gonna have to do one more here, around there. No, okay, actually, managed to keep the speed. Oh, yeah, I'm stuck in slow speed right now. Ooh. Yeah, that's not great. And now right here, if for whatever reason you're unable to vault because you're stuck in battle state, you can simply do a level 2 time stop, and it's actually gonna let you get out of the battle state and allow you to vault down the hole safely. So if you're getting to the hole and you're not able to vault, don't panic. Just do a level 2 time stop and you're gonna be fine. And that's pretty much it. We're now down to the final battle.
Sounded like a massacre. Are all the soldiers gone?
I don't know if I had the quick kill
away,
at this
I hope.
point.
I don't know.
I don't know what strat I'm gonna be
Balverines
using.
and bandits behind every rock and tree, and everyone I killed, 2 more take its place.
Oh, quite fascinating. I'm touched. I'm also leaving.
No, I haven't. I have not like investigated this too much. But in the current patch route, there should be a way for me to implement the a new quick kill that I found that you can do with a single player in a pistol. Which if you go and watch my Fable 2 glitchless no-hit run, that's gonna be the strat I'm gonna be using. It's using a mix of time stop level 5 with a decent weapon plus level 5 accuracy and whatnot. You can actually do a quick kill with a single player. Now, depending on if I knew about this strat at this point in time in 2018, it might be a two-player shock strat. I don't think I'm gonna be going for it because I would have spawned with player 2 right away. So, you want to kill these enemies as quickly as possible. Doesn't matter too much as long as the dialogue is progressing and guard is not getting interrupted, so you have plenty of time to kill them all. But usually, the faster you kill them, the better it is. The more time you have to set up, and you're less likely to have like cutscene delays or whatever. So, yeah, what I'm gonna be going for in this particular video is a 2-cycle strat, so you can defeat this shard in 2 cycles. You charge a level 5 shot, and once you're gonna be able to do damage, you're gonna do 1. It's gonna be half the HP, and then you're gonna wait for the next wave of enemies. The next wave of enemies you're gonna want to kill as fast as possible again. As long as you kill them fast enough, should be fine. Shock 5 on this is pretty important because it's the small shard. The small shard is like super resistant to Inferno, and the AoE wouldn't like do damage anyway. So I can see I killed the enemies really quickly. I was able to get this cycle really quickly. You do another level 5, and then you do a single pistol shot, and there you go. That's a 2-cycle fight. Perfect fight. So that was a perfect 2-cycle fight. That's how you do it.
Now that's teamwork.
Yes, such fun. And with that,
But yeah, I guess just to mention the quick kill that I was talking about is
We need you.
you can like pretty much like do the exact same thing, but if you can spawn in a second player that also is charging shock level 5, if you can release both shock level 5 spells onto the shard on the same frame, you can actually do the full damage and end the fight in 1 cycle. So you're saving 1 cycle of the fight. You wouldn't have to fight the enemies with the single mini shard at the end that I just did. You wouldn't have to go through all that, which is a 20 to 30 second time save, I would say. And that's pretty much it. At this point,
What exactly does Lucy...
there's only one skip left in the game.
Aside from godlike
And one skip and many, many cutscenes. That's pretty much it.
No, that kind of power is a means, not an end. What does he want to do?
So yeah, it was pretty interesting to watch this run back.
But give a beggar a million
I feel
gold,
like
he'll
with
buy
the
food
knowledge that I had,
until he's full.
and
Then he realizes bread
yeah,
is
the knowledge and the strat that I had,
Now we can begin.
this was a really, really solid run.
You represent that which binds the
Like
three
it was really like what's the word, like
and will. Together you will call
like
forth
stable. There was like
unquestioned
2 or
defeat
3 moments where it was kind of sloppy with like definite mistake, but everything else like was like
So now we just...
things were on point. Like yeah, I wasn't playing sloppy at all. I didn't have like the perfect luck, and there was like 2 or 3 mistakes, like 2 or 3 like actual notable mistakes, and then you take account, of course, like all the strat that are not optimal for nowadays. It's a run that I haven't watched in years, but it's a run that I always remember because this is pretty much the first speedrun that I have ever felt happy finishing. Like of all the games that I speedrun up to like this point back in 2018, that's the first speedrun that I was genuinely really happy that I completed.
Well, this can't be good.
So this run has always been pretty special to me. It's always been a very special run for me.
Heroes. Enough power to build a new world, and you waste it trying to save the old one.
You're Lucian.
Open your eyes, Lucian. The ruins of the old kingdom are all around us.
And soon they will be buried under the new kingdom. And you're looking at the new king.
Pretender. Your fall will be hard indeed.
Deal still stands, Lord Lucian. King Lucian.
Oh, Rival, will you shut it?
In fact, you can have these people for free.
And so I shall. And you as well.
Where is she?
Your fortune-telling friend?
What have you done to her?
I merely listened. I should have gone out.
What does that even mean?
That night. But I was hasty.
Anyway.
I let the bloodline flourish.
So this video is going to be on YouTube.
Flourished.
I wanted to have a video like uninterrupted where I do my best to share the information that I have about this game in speedrun. So hope you enjoyed watching this either live or on YouTube. I'm very glad that I took the time to
misguided and weak.
Check out this run again.
The last time I killed you, it tore my heart out.
F in the chat.
Of course, you were only a child. But then, so was I.
Death is not your destiny today, little sparrow.
Now we have the home skip, the dream skip. The best skip in the game. Very technical skip. Hours and hours of training led up to the climax of the speedrun skip of Fable 2. Words. Oh no, I missed saying goodbye.
Come on,
That's unfortunate.
It's beautiful outside.
Get up, it's beautiful outside. Let's go back to bed. Sleep. And there you go. The childhood dream sequence skip. Brain perfect sleep.
It's nothing, little sparrow. Oh, come on.
Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, the game does not force you to do all the mini games to be able to proceed. You can simply sleep and go about your days. It's gonna be a little bit of tight movement, dodging all of these dead bodies and whatnot. Ooh, oh, oh. Oh god. that's not the cleanest movement right there.
Castle Fairfax looks so nice in the snow. If only we could live there.
Perhaps that could be arranged.
For centuries, this academy trained the most supremely gifted sons and daughters of Albion, bound together by the blood that flowed in their veins. Can you feel the power coursing through you?
Father! I could have stopped him!
That was something else. Best crucible in years. A classic performance that will be remembered for all time. Or at least as long as there are people around to remember it.
You will make an excellent soldier. Dismissed.
The rules cannot be broken. We will take whoever bears the Dark Seal.
But oh dear, not as vivacious as you once were. Those judges can be a nuisance, can't they?
The last time I killed you, it tore my heart out. Of course, you're only a child. But then, so was I.
You have passed the test. Your rewards are the opportunity to confront your enemy and the means to destroy him. Take the box and go to him.
As a final piece of optimization, as soon as you spawn here in the Tetris Spire, you're going to be pressing the first person button to reset your speed. There you go. You saw it do it there. And that's actually faster. Now we're going to be firing lasers with our music box.
Your power is astounding. Twice you've cheated.
At this point
death.
here,
Yet your abilities are
we're gonna have more cutscene, and the only thing left is gonna be
which will soon be mine.
the 3 choices, and we're gonna be picking the wealth option because of dialogue options, and also it gives us evil points, which again with enough evil points you can have Hammer's dialogue. You can have like the most optimal Hammer dialogue at the end of the game.
I will put an end to chaos.
Chaos!
Stop now, you fool! You insect!
Did someone say chaos? We need to kill chaos! Oh man. My voice is completely dead from today. I was doing a randomizer race in Star Wars Battlefront 2 earlier today with some friends of the community.
What happens now?
And now today I'm doing like a almost 3 hours commentary video.
It is time you gained your reward. Your gift for saving
So
the world
my voice
from a
is
mad
pretty
and
beat up right
selfish
now,
dream.
but I managed to pull
The
through.
spire has awakened, and it still has the power to grant one wish. Yours. Come. Take my hand.
It's all right, little sparrow. Don't be afraid.
You stand in the heart of the spire, as the Archon of the Old Kingdom did thousands of years ago. Now it is your turn. Make a wish, but choose wisely, for it will affect all of Albion. Sacrifice. You may choose to revive all those who died in the spire's making. It is a selfless gift. Your only reward will be the gratitude of Albion. Love. Those dearest to you, even your faithful dog, will be restored to life. But their lives come at the cost of the countless innocents who died in building the spire. Or wealth. More gold than you can imagine, to spend on whatever pleases you. But any you loved, and all the spire's prisoners will remain dead, and will not witness your newfound affluence. What will you choose?
Rest in peace,
So be it.
Doggo. Rest in peace, Albion. We need to go fast. Oh, wait.
When you return
And
to
don't
land,
forget to press start
you will
as soon as
find wealth
the screen
beyond the
goes
measure
black.
of man. And those who might
Last
declare
screen,
you
press
selfish or
start,
callous will be
and
able
from
to do
here
little,
it's
but remember their losses
the end of the
and
inputs,
seize
really. The pressing start when the screen was black there was the final actual input you need to do.
Yes, a wish was made, and the world will bear its consequences.
Excellent choice. I'd have done the same.
Reaver agrees with your choice. Is that how low you've sunk? All the dreadful things you've done, I figured whatever it takes to get Lucian, so be it. But this, you know what? I pity you.
Yes, but on to more important matters. What about me? What do I get? Cash would be nice.
That is up to you. I can send you anywhere from here. What do you wish?
I wish to return home, to Samarkand.
Oh, I've never been to Samarkand. Hot nights, exotic substances, and uninhibited people.
It's nothing like that.
Trust me, I'll find the exciting bits.
Fine, but stay out of my way. Hammer?
No, I'm done. I know why we got attacked in the cave the day we met. You brought those hollow men in with you. 2 monks would have found nothing, but a warrior finds battle, always. I want to go north, study with those warrior monks. I was so sick of avoiding violence. Now I'm sick of causing it.
Goodbye, hero. I simply can't thank you enough for dragging me into this mess. Oh, I should tell you, I do have to make the occasional sojourn back to Albion. I have an obligation to some friends in Wraithmarsh.
I had my doubts about you at first, but I'm glad we met, and we shall meet again. You can count on it.
Guess I'll leave Albion to you. Not like I can do anything about it. You did some amazing
This
things.
line is the one that's different.
Shame about all the rotten stuff. I guess this will be our last goodbye. Take care of yourself.
So this line of dialogue is different
Farewell,
depending on your alignment of good and evil.
And now it is time for you to leave.
Alignment, that's the word I was
The
trying
world
to
is yours to enjoy.
define earlier.
But the spire is mine.
Be
Be
gone.
gone.
Boop. Split. Final time. GG. Alright. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this run with me.